Yes, hello. I am James Rowland. Today it's a WNR 591. It's WWE Royal Rumble 2026. I'm not alone. I have a pleasure to be joined by our resident NXT expert and New Japan demigod. It's Monty. How's it going, man?
Doing good, doing good. Excited to be back. It's been a little while when it comes to this, so it's gonna be good to kind of refresh myself on WWE and the Royal Rumble. Even though I do remember the Royal Rumble vividly, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This will be an interesting one because I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see where everybody's brain is at now because I know the night of the Royal Rumble. It was very interesting reactions in our little chat. So it'd be nice to see if any of those opinions have changed or if we still remember it the same. So just a cool little point of view to kind of look back here.
Yeah, without a doubt. And who could forget when Alibaba he had 40 thieves, because said had 1,000 tails. But Master, you're in luck, cause up your sleeve you got a brown of magic never fails. Yes, Miss Gina, what will be your pleasure be? Let me take your order, jot it down. You ain't never had a friend like me. Life is your restaurant, and I'm your maitre d'. Come on, whisper what it is you want. You ain't never had a friend, never had a friend. You ain't never had a friend, never had a friend. You ain't never had a friend like me. You ain't never had a friend like me. Ha! It's Gina, everybody. And Gina, all you have to do is rub, and your wish will come true.
Woo! I was totally singing along with you on mute, but I love that. Hello, people. Welcome in. I can't wait for this Royal Rumble catch up because I think I need it.
Well, as Monty said, it's been a while. It's the WNR Wars we caught up. So it's been,
Exactly.
nearly 2 months, boys and girls, you know.
I hope you have
Um,
missed us.
yeah. But what a show we have. Like I said, the Royal Rumble, but we're going to catch up with Raw and SmackDown since the turn of the year. So SmackDown, January 2nd, it was back to 3 hours. Yay! Or returned and RKO'd Miz twice. Rio, Charlotte, and Bliss beat the Kabuki Warriors. Nia Jackson, and Lash Legend. Matt Cardona is back in WWE, everybody. Yep. But better than that, Kip Wilson has a banging new theme and is getting over. Yes, boy. Who saw that coming, eh? And whoop that trick. Trick Willie arrived on SmackDown looking like a star. He told Sammy he wants the world title as well. Melo kept the US Open Challenge going, beating Gargano in a great match. And Nakamura and Tama Tonga had a conversation backstage. Monty, that was worth Shinsuke missing the Wrestle Kingdom show, wasn't it? Just that promo. That was the reason.
Totally worth it. Yep, totally worth it. I don't know. I'm over it now. I think but I'm probably not over it. But I'll say that now and just try my best to just smile through the annoyance. But yeah, that's hey. At this point, I mean, they could have just spit all the way in my like they still spit in my face, but like they could have spit in my face and slapped me afterwards by just like letting him be in catering and miss the retirement show. So they're like, we'll at least put him on TV, but he's still backstage because we can't let Shinsuke, you know, you can't let him get in the ring. Come on now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for bringing it up. I apologize. Drew made the stages of hell, the singles, then a false count anywhere, then a cage. How original. Drew then burned a pic of Cody and Dusty. Julia shockingly beat Chelsea Green for the US title. And the main event was an ambulance match between Aleister Black and Damian Priest. Ripley stopped Vega, and Priest used a fireball to get the win. Gina, I mean, the main event ambulance match was all right, but Chelsea Green losing to Judy was, I thought it was shocking, even though you would think in a fair fight, Judy would probably win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I did enjoy the ambulance match, so I'll give it its little shout out. I didn't really enjoy them burying Malachi Black again, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, on to Chelsea and Julia. Yeah, they act as if they can only have two people going for a belt per season,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to the women's belts. Don't get me wrong, I'm not dissatisfied that the belt has gone back to Julia, but part of me was like, but are you going to make this second run better than the first run you gave her? Because she didn't really get much of a storyline aside from Chelsea the first time around. So is it going to be different? And that's why you put the belt back on her? It just, I don't know. It does feel sometimes that they're like, okay, when this person has the belt, only these people can go for it. And we're just going to keep that storyline regurgitated for the next few months until we've got fresh meat for it. So yeah, it was a little shocking just because I didn't expect Chelsea to lose it so soon, especially because how popular Chelsea is. She is great at like keeping, audiences intrigued by what she's going to do next week, and with her being a champ of some sort, it always elevates that. So yeah, it was a bit shocking, but just because I didn't expect it, not because I didn't expect Julia to beat her.
Yeah, no, I completely. And we're going to go into it as well when it comes to kind of weird title matches and stuff like that as well. Raw January 5th, we're celebrating a year on Netflix with a Stranger Things themed episode. We have already talked about this.
Oh, I
Oh my God, I forgot
forgot
about
about how bad.
this.
Thanks for
Okay.
reminding us, James.
Look, we're going to go through it. I've never seen Stranger Things either. So, and I know I should probably do it. So I didn't get any of the references, and I quite enjoyed it that way. First match
There
for the
weren't any
women's.
references. It was just
Well, they
table
went.
decorations. It was
Yeah, I was about to
tablecloth,
say,
and
like,
that was it. There was
I
no,
thought
I
they
there was
only
went
saw
nothing
upside
season
visual
down
one,
there.
and
or
I know
something.
they didn't do shit. I only saw one season. I'm like, yeah, this ain't really a lot of references from what I know. So
I've seen
yeah,
like two or three seasons, and yeah, the biggest reference was the tablecloths.
Right. Okay. Well, now I feel like I don't have to go and watch Stranger Things, so that was good. The first match for all was the women's tag team titles: Rio versus Kabuki Warriors, and Rio got the win in a fun match. And again, I mean, Gina, you just mentioned it, and Monty, this is another like the tag titles seem to be switching hands very regularly now. And again, the Kabuki Warriors hardly had a reign, so to speak.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's been like I think the United States or they've done a really good job with the Intercontinental Women's Belt, but like the United States and now the women, we know what the women's tag legacy have been. It's kind of just weird. It's like title changes for the sake of title changes. You have a good match, but we're not getting payoffs to stores. We're not even when Chelsea won the belt. Originally, I wasn't mad that Julia even lost it, but Julia winning it back so soon made me more frustrated that Chelsea had because I'm like Chelsea didn't even need that victory then, or just like actually give us something, like actually give us a storyline to make the title changes make sense. Like that's really what it would be nice. And I know Rhea and Io kind of have had an ongoing thing with Oscar and Kyrie, but all right. Well, the problem with this particular case is yes, it does make sense that Rio would be able to become tag champs, but we had so many stops and starts and dips in the story to where it's like this felt disjointed, and it just felt like, oh, okay, well, just let them do it because it would be a good moment to start off the new year and the new season premiere or whatever, instead of actually being a blow off to a lot of that storytelling that we had with Oscar and Kyrie and Rio. So yeah, man, like you said, and then it would help in this case because even though this one didn't seem like this one, in my opinion, as lazy as the Julia and Chelsea title switching felt. This one ended up not feeling well executed because if you're not going to make them continue that, if you're going to have the stops and starts in the actual feud, then in my opinion, you got to at least have the Kabuki Warriors defending the belts more consistently, and especially since we've kind of been building, and you kind of can see it post this. It's like when Oscar and Kyrie were champs, they weren't really consistently building other teams up to challenge, but it feels like post that, as we can talk about as we keep going here, we started to get more at least fire around the tag team championship division that feel like we got contenders and more of the champions actually wrestling, even if they're not always defending the belt. So yeah, it just inconsistent, and so it ended up being disjointed, and then you end up feeling like, oh, okay, well, that just happened, and then you move on, and that's why we don't. That's why nobody, in my opinion, I don't think any of us are really feeling anything for these moments other than these were okay moments. Good for Rio that they won, but that's about it. You just then you move on.
Without a doubt. Well, AJ slapped Gunther, continuing these title changes. Becky Lynch won back the women's Intercontinental title, beating Maxine Dupree and Gina. It was just like you just said, where you only allowed like that one challenger. Do you know what I mean? And then they come back and take the title.
Yeah. Again, I'm actually not surprised by this. I figured Becky would take it back
Yeah,
from Maxine because it was such a shock that Maxine had won it from her in the first place. So I did see this coming, but it would have been nice to at least let Maxine make a little bit of a legacy for herself with that belt and just like, have a title defense against, you know, a, another person or two
yeah.
before the actual loss. And yeah, again, it just feels like really transitional. Okay, we're going to do this, but it's because it furthers Becky's storyline, not because it's for you, Maxine, to actually cement a actual, you know, name for yourself with this belt. So that's how I took it. It was
Yeah,
more for
it was.
Becky.
It was disappointing. Raquel Rodriguez attacked Stephanie Vecchio, who was wearing a walking boot. Liv Morgan beat Lyra Valkyria in the first match in 7 months. And in the main event, CM Punk beat Bron Breakker in a good match. Penta Dragon Lee and Mysterio took out the rest of the division. Everybody was expecting a surprise, but nothing. And again, Monty, I don't want to keep talking about it. But I think Bron and Punk was a good match. But I think people may be expecting Jericho or just a little something, and we just didn't get anything.
Well, that was Triple H's fault. He the one who got on, did whatever he loves doing, and keep talking about tonight is the start of a new era, or et cetera, et cetera. So people got a little too excited and was hoping for something that, in my opinion, even though I don't even understand. I mean, I guess just to have him come out at the end and stare Punk down, maybe. But yeah, I don't even really see what Jericho would have fitted in, to be honest, other than just a feel good surprise. So I understand maybe that, but I think that was more so just one of those situations of Triple H kind of overhyping to try to get everybody to watch the season premiere. Because again, I don't know if we're gonna get into the details of it, but throughout the middle of last year and all that, the weekly product like the Raw ratings and even SmackDown ratings, they've been in a dip, and the number, and like I think that was a ploy to get people, that and the Stranger Things Association too, for that matter. Obviously, that's more of a Netflix partnership thing coming together, but I think both of those things were hand in hand trying to drive viewership. So I think a lot of that hype for like what could have happened after this match. Uh, I'm not saying fans were dumb or it was pointless to ever get there. I'm just saying they were kind of led astray by just some promoter talk, in my opinion. But yeah, I think, like you said, the Punk Breaker match was really, really good. That was like the only thing I would say to anybody, if they were, even though I don't know if anybody who going back to watch Raw, but if you are a psychopath who are going back to just watch Raw, then you could watch it for that, and because I do think that was a very big highlight and a very, very lackluster show. It might be some notable things to come back to get us started towards the road to the Royal Rumble and road to WrestleMania, maybe if we look back on it. But yeah, it was very disappointing because I think they overhyped it. And then, like you mentioned, we had corporate type of partnership promotional thing with Stranger Things that really didn't make the show. It really didn't change the show at all. It was just a pointless theme. So yeah, it was a very, very bad way
Like
to
they didn't
start the
even have
year, in my
any of
opinion.
the Stranger Things cast
They
in
couldn't
the
get somebody to
crowd
sit
to
in the
show
crowd.
off,
Right.
and
Right. They couldn't even get
they couldn't
anyone to
even
sit in
do
the crowd.
that. It was just, like I said, it was just tablecloths and decor. That's the
Yeah.
only
It was
part of a
tough.
Stranger Things cross. They couldn't have even brought the Wyatt Six. I know that they're on SmackDown, but if it's a special Stranger Things crossover, if anything kind of matches the Things theme, is
Yeah.
probably the Wyatt Six and their creepiness. They couldn't have even brought them out to like do something or and be creepy with the crowd. That would have even given it a bit more of a Stranger Things vibe, but it didn't. They didn't do anything, and I'm just sat here baffled, thinking like, Trips, what were you thinking, looking at the match card and what was due to happen, and could you look at that and say this is a crossover? It's not.
I don't know how you can say that and then say this is a new era either. Like, oh, this is the start of a new era. Like, what do you mean? Nothing happened.
I don't know what you guys are worried about. He's promised an epic Royal Rumble full of surprises. All right, we're
See,
gonna get onto that.
he loves just
Jesus
talking.
Christ.
Man, what a talker this guy.
um, SmackDown January 9th. We are in Berlin. That is in Germany for our American friends. Trick Willie
Oh man,
interrupted.
really? Oh, man, I didn't
Trick
know.
Willie interrupted Randy Orton. He avoided an RKO, but a fan didn't avoid the mic that they hit, which was quite funny. And someone else took an RKO. That was Miz. I didn't notice. Trick Williams had his SmackDown debut match beating Ray Phoenix. So we've seen Trick mix it up. Gina, what do you think of Trick Willie's presentation? Because I'm extremely biased.
Me too.
I think he looked really good, and the crowd were really receptive to him. As soon as his music dropped, everyone was screaming his music. So he is definitely well known. Whether he was more well known on the NXT roster, they clearly know him on the main roster because in terms of fans wise, because they knew all of his music. And I really liked him. I like how they're portraying him. Yeah, it works. I'm excited to see how he's going to mesh in with the guys on the main card, as well as being rendezvoused with some others from NXT that have been brought up.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they put him on that level already. But again, if it's a single swim situation, I think he's floating quite well at the moment. you know, um, Lash Legend is another one floating quite well. She cost Alexa Bliss a chance at Judy's US title. Her and Nia laid out Bliss afterwards. Speaking of US championships, Melo defended against Shinsuke Nakamura in a great match. Jordan Grace has officially signed to SmackDown. She squashed Alba Fire, then faced off with Jay Cargill. And with that, she's already done more on SmackDown than she did in NXT. The MFTs beat the Wyatts in an 8-man tag. Remember when we were excited for this feud, eh? Tamapin Howdy and Solo stole a lantern like it was the urn from Paul Bearer. Johnny Gargano dressed as Axiom. And in the main event, it was the 3 stages of hell for the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes, and McIntyre easily earned that first fall with a Claymore going 1-0 up. And then Cody had to get dirty, didn't he? Going through the crowd to get the second fall with the crossroads through the announce table. But McIntyre still managed to survive that. He got himself up for the third fall, which was a steel cage. And McIntyre had it won. Let's get this straight right now. He had it won. He was going out the cage door, and a man in a black hoodie was there, and it was Jacob Fatu. So Drew had to come back in. Fatu comes in, starts putting the boots to Drew, doesn't he? And then Cody gets involved. Then Cody and Jacob start struggling. McIntyre sees this, and I say quite casually, just walks out the cage door, and your new undisputed WWE champion is Drew McIntyre. Monty, what do you think of maybe the greatest moment in professional wrestling?
At first I was like, this description, not only is this a little lengthy, this description is like very, very, like he said, he casually walked out. It's just like, I was like, then I thought about it. We talking about Drew McIntyre, and I was like, oh, okay. Of course, we got to make this, a little bit, gotta sweeten this up for my boy. No, I mean this was really cool. This is one of the situations where I laugh about, not really about the decision or just about like anything that happened, because I thought it was really well done. But I just chuckle because I know Triple H thinks that, oh man, I booked the hell out of it when it's funny to me, because it's not like, it's one of those things that I saw a lot of people just happy that he did, but it's like it wasn't really like we telling you, you know what, Triple H, you did a really good job. WWE, that was really good. Like, no, we was, a lot of people were satisfied and happy that he did it, because we just was craving something. Like, just do something that's not formulaic and that's sort of creative. And they actually executed this really, really well. I mean, outside of Drew winning, of course, I just thought that, come on, man, when you know how this is, whether it's 3 stages of hell or not, the world champion in a match like this, being in this spot is rare. So for them to actually have the guts, like, and that's what I mean. The way I've even seen people talk about the decision, outside of giving Drew credit, it's been a lot of people saying, you know what, I'm happy that he was had the guts to pull the trigger. When in reality, we shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't be so surprised that finally, in a feud that had some heat, a guy who's always in this position don't lose 100 times. Like he actually gets a chance to win, and then nobody looked weak. Like everybody was so worried. Everybody always so worried about the champion looking weak when they lose, but they found a way around it. And then we also got the involvement of Jacob in basically a main event, a world title picture. So like I thought a lot of positives came out of this, along with Drew being rewarded for like we talked about it not too long ago, and I know you're on top of the mountain, so I'm not trying to drop you back down, James. I know you're feeling really good about your boy. We talked about this, man. It was getting pretty sad. It was getting pretty sad. He was coming out here doing great heel promos on everybody you could think of, and then we all knew at the end it didn't matter what he said because he was gonna lose. So it felt good to finally see him actually say what he say, do what he said for a change, and it's about time because that's what I'm saying. A lot of heels, especially in WWE, a lot of them end up just either you start just not caring about them at all, or it's like for example, I love Finn Balor, but Finn, come on, man. Like
Well,
when I see Finn ask for the world title, sometimes I just be like, come on, man.
can I just say he did it? Like,
there you go. There you go.
Right.
But I'm saying you need at some point you have to do it. Because after a while, we're not going to take you serious no more. So I'm happy they let Drew do
it. Yeah. I mean, Gina, did you think, Drew McIntyre, WWE champion, it's, do you know what I mean? He did it. He did it for me. He did it for us, basically.
It was mainly for you, definitely, James.
Yeah.
But no, I'm pleased for him. I feel a little bit like Monty. I feel like Drew's been chatting so much shit that if he didn't get the win here, it would be complete burial. I just really feel like it was necessary for him to get this win. But I also know that, don't get me wrong, I do like Cody, but I just don't need him. I just don't need him going in as WrestleMania as champion. Like, change it up, make it different. I think this was a better call. And no offense, but I do think that it would be good to just start a different. Even Jax agrees with me. Start a different, or at least a storyline feud just between Cody and Jacob Fatu, not around the belt, just beef between those two, and let Drew have beef with others for now, and just change it up. Because, like I said earlier, they like to just have the same people going for the same thing until the belt moves on, so it would be good in that sense. But I am happy for Drew. I think he needed this win, and I do think he's going to carry it well, so I'm not mad at it.
He is our WWE champion, and it's good to see. I could finish the podcast right here, but we have to continue. Raw, January 12th. We're in Dusseldorf, which is still in Germany, kids. Javon Evans beat Bravo Tyler Bate Americano. Punk's promo was interrupted by Finn Balor as match was made for Ireland the next week. See, Monty, you say it. Balor's in Ireland, though. His home country. I don't know about that, we had a triple threat tag match. Find the new number one contenders for the women's tag titles. Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan beat the Kabuki Warriors and Bailey and Lyra. Raquel Rodriguez attacked Stephanie Vaquer again. Dragon Lee and Penta versus Bronson Reed and Theory ended in a DQ. Breaker and the Vision continued the assault. Pierce tried to stop him. He got in Breaker's face, and it took everyone for the Vision to hold him back, and Pierce suspended Breaker indefinitely. Gina, I'm going to be quite negative now. I don't really give a fuck about the Vision. I know Bron Breaker's in it, and I know I should maybe care, but it's just when I've been watching Raw, it's my switch off moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do get where you're coming from. It's up and down. Some weeks I'm kind of intrigued with what they're gonna do, and other weeks I'm like, oh, get off my screen, please. And I don't know if it's because Logan Paul being the addition to it just annoys me even more because you're seeing him more often than we'd like to. I don't know. It's up and down. I think the only good thing at the moment in the Vision is Paul Heyman, and I think even he's going downhill with these guys.
Well, the week's main event saw AJ Styles take on Gunter for the first time ever. The crowd was singing as the match began. Gunter broke out of a calf crusher and slammed Styles' head into the mat. Phenomenal locked it on again, and Styles thought Gunter tapped out and released a hold, but the referee didn't see it. Gunter hit a low blow while the ref had his back turned, which led to him hitting a powerbomb for the win. It was a bit confusing because the camera didn't show Gunther attack, but we did get a better angle of it afterwards. I mean, Monty, what were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it felt like I mean, first of all, good match. I mean, two of the best in the world, so they did a good job. But it all, I think from the beginning of the storyline, especially off the heels of the John Cena feud, it just felt like a piece of what we were probably going to be getting, out of all of them. I mean, out of both guys and just out of the story, especially with the way Gunther kind of won the match. And how screwy everything ended up being. Like you said, the execution wasn't necessarily perfect, but I kind of, with replays and just based off the, storytelling, I got the point of what they were trying to kind of express of the match and of the story. So yeah, again, these are two of the best. I do think this is a highlight at the time of Raw because of not only, again, it was using the heat that Gunther has kind of built up from the John Cena feud to now feuding with another legend, another great in AJ. So, yeah, man, I thought this was a good logical step. But because of the screwy nature of said finish, I figured that we were in store for more. And it's just all about how interested you were in getting more. And I'm pretty sure we all at least wanted to see where this would conclude.
Yeah, without a doubt. We'll move on to SmackDown January 16th. We were in London, not the O2, because WWE got butthurt about the Forbidden Door being there. So we're at Wembley Arena, and we start with our WWE champion, Drew McIntyre, who got a hero's welcome with added bagpipes. It brings a tear to your eye, and the fans say he deserves it. Drew has brought the UK together. He says when he got fired, he said the only person that was there was me, and the rest, screw you. And Drew then proved why he's a great heel. But the McIntyre era has begun, and Randy rudely interrupted. Jacob Fatu showed up right after the WWE champion. Fatu chased McIntyre through the crowd, allowing The Miz to sneak in behind Orton and hit the skull crushing finale. And this led to the first of four qualifying matches, and The Miz still lost to Randy. So, Gina, I mean, The Miz just can't catch a break. You think with the qualifying match, he's got the advantage, still can't get the job done.
No, I mean, they make it even worse when they have him build it up backstage that he needs this and blah, blah, blah. So you just sit there going, okay, are they actually going to give it to him then if they've given us, a backstage of him needing that? No, he's still lost.
Yeah. And Cody Rhodes became the first person declared for the Rumble. He also promised a receipt for Jacob. The second qualifier was Trick Willie beating Matt Cardona, and this was a TNA match 6 months ago. For some reason, Wilson came out and attacked Cardona before posing with the crowd. Jacob Fatu then fucked him up and called out Cody. It led to a brawl, a match between the two booked for Saturday night's main event, which was pretty entertaining. The third qualifier was Priest defeating Solo, thanks to Howdy trying to take the lantern back. And the main event, and the fourth qualifier was Zayn versus Ilya, with Zayn able to get the victory with her Luva kick. Monty, what did you think of the qualifiers for Saturday night's main event's Fatal 4-Way?
I thought they were all, pretty good, solid. It was good to see, Trick Williams in the mix and a lot of the other, just superstars all kind of working hard. I mean, if it's one thing I do want more or want more consistently, it'd be nice if we could get it spread out through multiple divisions. But I like when we end up getting into putting the wrestlers in situations where they're not just wrestling out there. We wrestling for some stakes. And I feel like this is some of this is some of the best work leading up to the in this case Saturday night's main event, but like in the whole month of January, some of the best work in my opinion was kind of the work in these matches here because again, like I said, you're fighting for stakes, you're getting to showcase a little bit of what a lot of these guys can do, and even if we don't take them seriously as far as like winning, I mean, everybody except me is like you guys kind of pointed out. You kind of are at least are in conversation for championship. consideration. So yeah, I thought these are all pretty good, and I love the concept of having the wrestlers actually battle it out instead of just announcing something.
Yeah, Zayn was hitting earlier like he owed him money, though, I tell you. Elsewhere, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss beat Julia and Kiani James. Now, Jackson Nash Legend showed up and Julia wasn't happy. Jordan Grace beat Chelsea Green. This was a TNA match a couple of years ago. Jay Cargill watched on because Mi Chin was injured at a house show and no one else is interested in facing the champion, apparently. Leon Slater answered the call for Kamala Hayes' US title. I hope it was worth missing the TNA debut on AMC. It was a fantastic match, but the TNA X Division champion came up short because Mello don't miss. And people might not know. Yeah, well, people might not know Slater is from the UK. I mean, Gina, I
You
don't know how
sure?
much you.
Oh.
I don't know how much you know about Leon Slater. Well, he's not drinking tea or giving anti-American promos, is he? So how do we know? Do you know what I mean? That he's British. But I mean, he is an exciting talent. There's no doubt about that. And I think the
The first
difference.
time I saw him, so I didn't know until that match.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing about him, he's so young, but he listened to the crowd. It's incredible. Do you know what I mean? That connection. He was on every beat.
Yeah, definitely. They were loud for him, so it was even more surprising that everyone knew of him.
Yeah, I
Oh
think the
my
difference is
goodness, he was British. Realize it.
well, in TNA though, you know
I'm
wrestle in front
joking.
of 20 people. I suppose once you get to WWE, you've already kind of mastered the work of the crowd, a bit like Jordan Grace, really. You know. Anyway, on to Raw, January 19th in Belfast. And fun fact, Gunther is not liked in Northern Ireland either. The ring
Wow.
general announced himself for the Rumble and was quickly interrupted by AJ Styles. Shockingly, the phenomenal one put his career on the line at the Rumble versus Gunther. So, I mean, Monty, it's been rough. We've had Cena, we've had Tanahashi. Could it be AJ Styles, and why is it so soon?
As soon as this was announced, I'm morbid as hell at this point because, like you just mentioned, look at everybody else gone. Just like, you know what, AJ, sure, go ahead, AJ, just leave us like everybody else. Of course, I saw much later. I will understand that reasoning, but when you first, as soon as they floated the idea, I was like, you can't do it now. But of course, you can't have anything. It's the reason why I haven't been getting on the internet because as a wrestling fan, if you are a wrestling fan and you get on the internet a lot, I don't know why how can you enjoy anything anymore? Because it wasn't like 5 minutes later we go, hey, AJ's contract up at the end of January. Hey, shut up. Shut up. Just let me at least get a little bit invested in what could possibly happen here. So anyway, but besides that, yeah, man, it was one of those things that threw me for a loop. It definitely added stakes though, because like I said, I knew we weren't finished with it after the way that other match finished, and I thought the crazy thing about it when he initially Gunther gave his speech initially after beating Cena, and then AJ approached him backstage or came out there and called him out. Whatever, one of the two happens. And you kind of saw that they were going to be going this way after Cena got retired. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So and AJ, because I know 2 and 2 and 6 was always supposed to be the last year for AJ, but my thought process was like 2026, like the actual year. Like let's go through the calendar, like not like the next month after
2 weeks,
Cena
he's like,
leaves.
yep,
Like,
yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Yep, that's me.
exactly. A couple weeks without Cena being on the roster, he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just don't. I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. So, it is what it is. But yeah, that was definitely. It definitely took me. I definitely was a little shocked, but interested because I was like, okay, this could be. It's an interesting way to do it because we all know he's gonna retire. So at the time, I was definitely entertaining. What if he still is? He still does have a contract length. He's not really gone. And I mean, before they even start talking, his contract is up. I'm just like, oh, maybe they're just telling me that because like this would be a great way to get everybody invested in this feud / match. But instead of actually putting them away, maybe just maybe he beats Gunther with his career on the line and he keeps it going. So it reminded me like Ric Flair. I remember like when the real Ric Flair retired before he ruined it, of course. they gave like Rick like a stipulation, like the next time, hey, you better win every match you win because the next time your old butt lose, you gotta retire. So I was thinking, maybe that's what we're gonna give it AJ. He got a beat going through, and he can just survive for the rest of the year. So it definitely got me a little bit more interested in the Royal Rumble, and I do think that was the goal.
I think Gunther should just wrestle people for their careers so he can go down to NXT, Brooks Jensen and you know what I mean? Just get out all the people we don't want. Anyway,
Okay, I was thinking just older guys. Here you go,
I'm
getting people whose career haven't even started.
Yeah. Where's Stacks? That's what I would be like. Anyway, the first match of Raw was Becky Lynch defending the Intercontinental title versus Maxine Dupree. This was the 6th match in their feud, which is unheard of in WWE. Max had it won, but it was Natty who screwed her, then beat the shit out of her afterwards. Gina, what were your thoughts on this? And is it true all women do actually indeed hate each other?
Oh, God, no. Natalia just hates everyone. Yeah, this is just, and it's random for me because they had all of this, build up with Maxine and Natty training her, etc. The thing is, no one learns. Never be friends with Natty. She turns on everyone, every single person who's her friend. She turns.
Yeah.
Like, you need to learn your lesson, Maxine. Trust no one, especially someone like Natty.
It's true. Jey Uso declared himself for the Rumble. Mysterio lead Penta, defeated Division. Theory was pinned. Raquel Rodriguez attacked Ripley from behind to kickstart a 3-on-2 assault. Judgment Day ended up getting the better of Rio. Let's celebrate Martin Luther King Day, but not Black History Month. Okay. The Javon Evans and Americano ended prematurely when the young OG suffered an injury. Let's hope he's not out for long. And in the main event, not a hometown boy, Finn Balor, faced CM Punk for the World Championship. Finn had his old theme, but it still couldn't help him. Respect was shown afterwards. And people have been arguing a long time if Ireland is one place or two. And I'm not going to get into it now. But, I mean, Monty, I know you said Finn didn't have a chance. But, I mean, he came close.
Yeah, it's not even more. It's about the believability factor, and that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, at some point, I will never forget how it didn't matter where, it didn't matter who, it didn't matter what time. If you put Seth Rollins to defend his belt against Finn Balor, he was gonna lose, and I don't care what nobody say. That since then, and it's not just Seth. Whenever Finn decides that he's gonna go back to that level or that magic, and maybe this is perfect because if he ever does get back over the mountain, it's gonna be awesome. A lot of the people who've been along the journey with Finn from the beginning will be excited. But on the main roster, outside of that one beautiful night before he separated his shoulder, when he beat Seth for the first Universal title way back then, he is a bona fide world title loser. If it's not the NXT title, he is going to lose the match. So I'm just saying, when you book somebody like that for so long, whether he face or heel, after a while, people are going to be just like rolling their eyes. It's like, oh, okay, they're never going to let you do it, Finn. So why the hell? I mean, it's good to watch you struggle to get there, but we know how this ends. So again, that's kind of my sentiment when Drew finally won. It was awesome to see them finally do it and not care about Cody looking strong and whoever else. So, but again, I agree. This was fun. The hometown crowd, it was nice to see Finn kind of, for all the people who are big fans of Finn and like Finn better as a face. I know it was cool to kind of see him playing off the crowd. He looked happy. He looked motivated. Finn, for some reason, still looks 24 instead of 44. So, he's great. I love Finn.
He really does.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He watched the 2001 Royal Rumble, and he was coming out, and he looks no different.
The Royal Rumble? He was in the Royal Rumble?
I get your point. I was watching an old show, and he looks no different.
I get your point, though. Yeah, I get your point.
Yeah, I get it. I'm old, all right? You've already said 10 years ago is a long time, even though we were doing a podcast then. And now apparently 2001 is a long time ago as well, even.
First of all, 2001 is a very long time ago. 2001
is very long time ago.
I think I meant 20.
2001 is 25 years ago.
Listen, next it's going to be the 1900s, okay?
Yeah, people say that. Anyway, we'll move on to SmackDown, January 23rd. We had 2 nights in Montreal. That's not in Europe. Sami Zayn got a hero's welcome. Trick interrupted. Sami said they are not on the same level. I agree. Priest interrupted the interruptee and a brawl broke out. Randy couldn't be asked, so just watched it on TV. Melo defended the US title against Dragunov. Ilya had a 3-2-1 record against Hayes going into this bout, with a draw happening during an episode of WWE Speed. It was 3 on NXT, 3 on the main roster. These two can do no wrong. And I think every match that they had has been for a championship, would be NXT title or US championship. Hayes retained thanks to the Miz. But I mean, Gina, there is something special between Melo and Ilya. You know, you can feel it, that kind of comfortableness with each other, you know?
Definitely. But will we get a decent match or just a squash match? I don't know with the Miz lately.
Cody Rhodes gave a backstage interview with Michael Cole about facing Jacob Fatu. Fatu interrupted. He said he's not like other Samoans Rose has faced, and he's more in control than everyone thinks. He also pointed out Drew was on his way out when he stopped him in the cage. Good lad, you know. Roman Reigns entered the Rumble via video. Chelsea Green was murdered by Jade Cargill. Jordan Grace wants next. Green was dressed as a Mountie, though, to be fair. The men's NXT titles were on the line when Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis defended against Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. Tala Tonga took the lantern back, so the Wyatts couldn't reach it. Eric Rowan ended up taking out JC Mateo and Tangaloa at ringside, but we saw Tala come back with a lantern. God. Solo used the lantern to hit Loomis behind the referee's back, paving the way for Tama to hit his finisher for the pin and the win. Your new tag team champions. And Monty, I know you like Solo, so at least he's got gold again, even though Michael Cole can't remember his US title run from last year.
I can't either. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, man, this is cool. It's good to see Solo, and the crew kind of get something. You know, they added some face paint to the crew, so I know that was supposed to mean something, but it didn't feel like it really changed much at first, or at least they didn't seem to be on TV anymore often than they were before it. So it's cool to see them actually with the Wyatt, do some stuff with the Wyatt family. As much as I like what the Wyatt Six have been doing, they obviously don't know what the hell to do with them when it comes to booking. I mean, let's just be honest. They don't really have a clue, truthfully, with what they want. At least how they're going to showcase them once they do win the titles. Like, I know they have been kind of on TV and kind of doing stuff with MFTs and stuff like that. But you really think about their tag team run outside of a couple matches here and there, giving the Y6 those belts, and it's not the Y6's fault, but it's the horrible tag team booking that we've kind of become accustomed to when it comes to, not just SmackDown, but just WWE in general. It's more on that, of course, but I'm just saying, once they gave it to the Y6, that whole, when it felt like we had like 5 different teams competing, in that division, all of that kind of died out. And I think a lot of that has to do with, because the Y6 are who they are, you don't want to overexpose them. But then if you don't want to overexpose them, that plays right. I ain't gonna lie, they actually make them perfect tag team champions. Because again, Triple H hates booking tag team champions, is back booking tag teams in general. So anyway, it'd be nice because the tag team belts will actually be on TV now, because MFTs, when they show up, they're gonna at least be holding them. But we know how this goes. The MFTs are tag team champions. They'll hold it for a while. We probably won't see it until they defend it the night after or the night before WrestleMania. The week after or the week before WrestleMania, they'll defend it, lose them, and we'll be right back at the cycle again, because Triple H does not care about tag team wrestling.
Wow. AJ Styles was called to SmackDown by Nick Aldis as Nakamura issued a challenge for Saturday night's main event. Nathan Fraser beat Johnny Gargano. They're apparently fighting over Axiom's mask. Drew McIntyre gave a promo. He never lies, and the crowd is dying to cheer for him. Kiana James and Judah became new number 1 contenders when they beat Lash and Jax and Bliss and Charlotte. And Gina, again, I don't understand this booking. Judah just won back the US title, and now she's number 1 contender to tag titles. What's the point? Especially when there's other tag teams.
I'm really starting to dislike double champions, and it's really starting to grate on me, because I'm just like, why do you feel the need that you have to bleed other double championship storylines together? Because you definitely have the numbers on the roster to be able to have different champions. So yeah, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. If you wanted Julia and Kiana to be taken seriously in the tag division, then you should have left the belt on Chelsea. I don't know. It just felt like a mess to me, but that's my personal opinions on that.
No, I completely agree. Main event was Trick versus Priest. Zayn ended up going after Williams after an account at ringside, which called for the DQ. All four men fought until Orton showed up and took out Williams with an RKO out of nowhere. Saturday night's main event, then January 24th, we've got fucking Stephanie McMahon again. Even Joe Test didn't want to work with her, you know. And there's roads everywhere now, to Mania, to the Rumble, maybe even to Raw. But there's more new beginnings in WWE than anything, I think. That and brawls, you know. But we got the first time ever match between Cody and Fatu. Didn't officially start. Believe it or not, security showed up and a massive brawl broke out. They brawled into the crowd. They brawled everywhere, really. Cody wiping out people with bins was quite funny. McIntyre showed up and put Fatu through a table for powerbomb and Cody through one as well. And Monty Drew looked awesome, but I don't know. Like, if you didn't want to do the match, just don't do the match. I don't know.
You remember what I said about giving Triple H all that credit for having the guts to give Drew the championship? He reverted right back to being afraid to let Cody or whoever you want, even Jacob. Who cares? I mean, like, all right, let's get a result. Or you know what? If you're gonna let Drew come out and be dominant, let him do what the champions always. I mean, that's another thing. Don't get me started on this, John. You know, Drew's a dumb champion now because he had to attack both his contenders. Like both of them ain't gonna want to fight him now. Like that never works out in the long run anyway. But hey, he looked good for the night, and that's fine. You know, I'm with you though, 100%. Like if you don't want to do the match, let's not do this. But again, everything, or not everything, but a lot of what they like to do. They love to do the window dressing. They love to do whatever they can to just try to get you to watch. And then you watch, and then you see, oh, y'all ain't even have no intentions of even doing anything with this, and you just move on to the next thing.
Well, moving on. Up next was the Women's Tag Team Championships, Rio versus Prez and Liv Morgan. Ripley delivered a riptide to Prez. Sky added a finisher. They appeared to have it won until Raquel Rodriguez interfered down in the referee. Stephanie Vaquer hit the ring without the walking boot she had worn and beat Rodriguez into the crowd. Back in the ring, it looked like Morgan had it won with the Oblivion to Sky, but Ripley was a legal participant, and a riptide to Liv got the win. Gina, I mean, this is just, I hate to say it, but this is just forgettable. And I watched it this week, you know?
Yeah, and it feels like an all-star studded matchup, you know, but like you said, it's kind of forgettable. There wasn't anything really special about it. It did feel like a bit of a short match, and yeah, it was what it was.
Now, AJ Styles versus Nakamura next, and AJ wore mask to the ring. Michael Cole pointed out the last time he did it was against Nakamura at Wrestle Kingdom 10 years ago, and a long and grueling match featuring back and forth action, no sustained advantage. Late in the match, Styles took advantage of his opponent's injured left knee, hanging it up on a top rope. From there, he delivered a phenomenal forearm and a Styles clash to secure the win. But Monty, I'm sure there's lots of moments sprinkled in this match about their past. You know, don't get me wrong, I know some of it, but I probably didn't get every single reference. But this did feel like the end as well, you know?
Yeah, not only that, Shinsuke couldn't keep his mouth. I knew at the end he couldn't. He telling stories on Instagram after the match. I'm like, oh man, it might be over with. Shinsuke up here talking about how much AJ a brother to him, and how part of the reason why he came to WWE and how he felt so welcome had a lot to do with his friendship with AJ. And I'm just like, and he also said something else that we'll talk about in a minute. But the match itself, yes. Excellent match. This is definitely a sign that it was over, because they were, not only were they given time, and it would have been a sign that it wasn't over if Gunther would have came out and interrupted or something. Then I'm like, but the fact that they just gave them time and let them kind of, like you say, do all the callbacks to their classic at Wrestle Kingdom, and it was. I'm not even gonna talk about the just specific moments. I mean, if you really want to be honest, it is almost a step by step call back to their match at Wrestle Kingdom, It was just beautiful. You could tell they were relaxed and they just wanted to go out there and just for the crowd and for each other, just go out there and one last time, just go at it, striking transfers and the great reversals that they're known for. And I think they were just crisp. It was by far the best performance Shinsuke's had in WWE. Maybe since the Sami Zayn match, in my opinion, because they tried to do the AJ match a couple times. And I think the not the Mania match, but the other match they had when AJ was WWE champion, I think was a good match too. But yeah, nothing ever really touched the Wrestle Kingdom match, and this is probably as close as they ever got to it. And they did the fist bump just like they did after the Wrestle Kingdom match, just kind of letting you know as they kind of sat there exasperated after it. And this felt like it was worth the stage that it was on. And I agree. It definitely felt like the end, like, all right, they letting AJ do this. Yeah, AJ might really be hanging it up. And Shinsuke really wanted to give him another, show him some love. I also would have forgave WWE if they would have if this would have been the reason why Shinsuke had to miss because he did something. He was able to do something like that. Maybe I wouldn't have been. Maybe wouldn't have been so annoyed. It's just that you had to miss Tom Hodgson retirement over this. But either way it go, man, this is really good. Two of the best ever, and I was glad that Shinsuke got a chance to kind of tell a great story with AJ on this stage because I know how important that is, or how important that was for him. And I just thought it was cool of AJ to be able to use something that's all about him because he didn't have to do that in my opinion. But I think that just shows the mutual respect and the love that those two guys have for each other, or especially even as just professionals, to for him to use this moment so close to when he's possibly wrapping it up to give Shinsuke that spotlight on Saturday Night Main Event. And it was about time WWE let Shinsuke just tell a physical long-term story. So that was cool.
Yeah, and again, you don't know how many more matches Nakamura's going to have like that in WWE as
He
well.
probably won't have another. I'm gonna be honest
Yeah.
with you, but yeah. So yeah, we gotta take it while we got it. Yeah, 100%.
Well, a date with Drew McIntyre, lucky bastards, for the undisputed WWE Championship awaited the winner of the main event, the Fatal 4-Way match, Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest versus Randy Orton versus Trick Williams. Priest delivered South of Heaven to Orton, only to eat a kick from Williams. Zayn delivered a Northern Light suplex to the former NXT champion, but could not follow him up. He did moments later, though, delivering a haluva kick to Priest for the win and a trip to the Royal Rumble. Zayn did cheap shot Drew afterwards. And Gina, I don't know what you thought about the match. I didn't think it deserved that many fucking fireworks. I mean, what did he win? An opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an opportunity. Like, he's not actually won the ticket to WrestleMania. He's won an opportunity to get that ticket to WrestleMania. So yeah, it was a little bit OTT. Like, I know that I can be dramatic at times, but this is, WWE at its dramatic finest.
Yeah, and the good thing was Trick didn't seem out of place either, so that was quite a positive from there. Raw January 26th, AJ started the show saying how he wants to be world champion, and just at that, CM Punk answered the call, and we had a blockbuster main event. Toronto reacted great for this. Elsewhere, Ripley, Sky, and Vaquer defeated Morgan, Perez, and Rodriguez in a fun match. Adam Pearce said all the Vision are in the Rumble. He then booked Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory. Theory won. The Division beat down the Masked Men, and I don't care. And I guess Jimmy is injured because we haven't seen him in weeks, unless he's with Naomi, And Monty, again, I don't know if you know any more than that, but I mean, why did they put the tag team titles on them? Isn't the women's champion and the Intercontinental champion enough injured and missing people, or they just wanted more?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything, but I think it has to be more so of a family thing. I mean, Jay in the middle of a couple of his little solo promos out of nowhere was just sending love to Jimmy and Naomi in the middle of the promo. So that just at least imply. I know internet speculation is it was a family type of thing. So I don't know. I just wish Trinity and the baby and I wish them all the best, and hope everything is cool because I know how tricky that can be. So in that regard, but yeah, I'm going to assume something unplanned happened because if not, then yeah, I understand what you're getting at. If they just kind of put the belts on them and they, in something and they put the belts on them with no plan attached. I want to believe that they put the Usos back in that position to build towards something. We'll see. It doesn't, like you said, doesn't seem like a lot of heat there. But I already told you this, James. You're gonna have to start rewiring your brain. All right. How many belts is the tag team belts when Jey Uso? It's two belts, right? This is a tag team title we talking about, right? Rewind back to the other part of the show and what I said about Triple H and tag team championship.
Okay, he hates tactics. He hates tactics. Okay, well, I mean, Gina, maybe you can answer me this. How the fuck is Otis still over? Like the Raw Tag Team Division hangs on Alpha Academy, beating the Creed's New Day and El Grande's mate to face Usos at some point. But it's like Otis doesn't get used, yet the crowd still love him.
Yeah, honestly, I think
I love
because he
Otis.
doesn't get used, they still love him. I think because he's hardly used and people knew the potential that he has, and he's just not been utilized. That's why every time he is being used, they're just so behind him.
I just honestly, like, I've never known a wrestler be so popular and yet so unused. Well, but maybe apart from LA Knight. And Vision are in the Rumble, but Balor can't get in. The main event was the World Championship AJ Styles versus CM Punk, which was the first time one-on-one in WWE. Later, the matches, Punk and Styles battle for one last upper hand. Finn Balor entered the ring and attacked the champion. He delivered a shotgun drop kick, driving Punk into the guardrail, and he added a coup de grace and stood tall as the show went off. But again, Monty, I know we spoke about it. We know it's the end, but it's still good to get AJ versus CM Punk just because of how vital they were for the independent wrestling scene and Ring of Honor, TNA, and everything like this way back in your day.
Yeah, yeah. Because Donnie, did you have the internet back then?
We had dial up. We had dial up.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Uh, yeah. Yeah. For the old internet wrestling Mark Sparks, and the people who if it wouldn't be AEW without guys. You can say what you want, but it wouldn't be AEW without guys. Or Ring of Honor, obviously, because these guys wrestled in that place too. But it wouldn't be guys without the groundwork that AJ Styles laid from WCW to Impact, and then across the world, and then you go to what Punk did in the Indies through Ring of Honor, through different territories to get to where they both were now. I know that meant a lot to them, and to be able to give them that moment would have been nice if we got a finish match. But even with Finn kind of being involved, I thought that it still ended up being okay. We telling a story, and then Finn fits in with those guys to an extent, also. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, man, I thought it was just a feel good moment. And I think so far, based off, I mean, just kind of like what we saw with John Cena. I mean, the best of that type of thing was always when we were able to just not overthink it, not really worry too much. It just feel good with the wrestling that we were watching. So, and I think that's what they need to do more of. In general, is just to not necessarily lean on feel good moments, but we like good wrestling. We like competitors. We like good storytelling, of course. But sometimes you gotta do things that make sense, and some things that just make you feel good. And I think that's what this was overall. Especially when you got a guy like AJ, who, in my opinion, is like he shouldn't even have to. He shouldn't have to wait. I don't know what the idea is. I don't know who joining your favorite woman in the Hall of Fame. I don't even know what the list looking like, but it'll be cool. It would be hella cool if we just rushed AJ's whole process and just got him in ASAP. Because I really don't. He is the definition of a first ballot Hall of Fame type of guy. So it was cool to get him just to have cool moments like this, especially with a guy like Punk.
Yeah, without a doubt. We move on to the Rumble kickoff, which was January 30th, with Cole hosting. Not a great turnout. And I don't know, Gina. I know you like what the kids call video games and stuff like that, but don't get me
What the
started on
kids call? Oh my god!
Don't get me started on 2K26. I know we should have,
Oh,
but
I don't want to talk about
what
that.
what the
It's
fucking Triple H
blasphemous.
edition? How dare he?
Honestly, if you even compare all the editions online to each other, you're just like, what? Why? Why? It
I
doesn't make
just
sense.
£140 for the Monday night edition or whatever it is. Punk is on the
I could
cover
get a pair
first.
of hair straighteners for that.
Punk is on the cover. It's the first time since 2012. The TKO puppet, world champion, got a great reaction from the crowd. Cole then introduced Fad to Whack, the newest talent signed to the Performance Center. It just so happens he's Saudi Arabian. Yeah, the Vision promised a Bron victory. Signal wasn't great. Reed said he would jump over the top rope for Bron. Jey Uso interrupted, and that was it. Judgment Day arrived. Sans, Balor, and Dom, but I got no problems with an all-female group. Raquel said she would beat Steph on Raw, and Liv promised a Rumble victory. Lyra and Bailey interrupted. Gunther was last. He said he will end AJ Styles. Everyone else thinks otherwise. Is stupid. All right, Gunter. And then SmackDown, January 30th, we're in Rehab. Rhodes tees facing CM Punk for the world title if he wins the Rumble. Randy Orton's music hit. The Viper said even though he respects Rhodes, he would toss him out of the Rumble. This led to Jey Uso coming out. Like the other two, he sprinted to the ring, he did. Sami Zayn came to the ring. Paul Heyman and the Vision came out. Nick Aldis then booked an 8-man tag match for everyone later in the show.
Yay, not lazy at all.
That's what he won. Melo defended the US title against Rey Fenix. Bliss and Charlotte chatted about tossing each other off. And then they beat Rox and Liv, who are on a losing streak right now. Axiom beat Johnny Gargano, finally got his mask back. It was a well-done finish. Worldwide Willie is something completely different in the UK, I will say, to what Trick Williams was talking about. AJ Styles' last SmackDown appearance, the ring general showed up and talked trash, which angered AJ, and Gunter walked away. And as we've mentioned, SmackDown was the house AJ Styles built, and Ilya gave Miz his best match in a long time. The main event, talk about lazy booking. Uso, Zayn, Orton defeat Division by DQ. Fatu showed up, look at the fight. Drew McIntyre and Zayn wiped out McIntyre with a Hoover kick. Paul Breaker took him, and Rhodes with one spear to end the show. Monty, it was interesting, that last SmackDown.
It was shit.
I'm glad you said it.
It was shit. Oh my God, man! What a horrible. Just it was just God, man. Man, the more because usually when a bad show happens, I forget. Yeah, I forget. But when the more you start to break down, I was like, "You right." I mean, outside of the Rey Fenix mellow stuff, and oh my God, man, what a waste of my life. Yeah, it was bad. Oh man, what a way to get us hyped for the Royal Rumble great show, great job, guys. Great job.
Well, speaking of wasting my life, another 2 hours for the countdown to the Royal Rumble, which was January 31st. Cole again, Wade and Big E, joined by CM Punk. Jey Uso was interviewed. Adam Pearce joined the panel. Heyman arrived having a go at Pearce, and Bron is number 2. Now, Gina, I mean, this is quite a big revelation, especially it happened on the kickoff, where usually nothing happens on the kickoff, but Bron is number 2. Is Pearce screwing him over? Do we care?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the kickoff, so I didn't even know that. So for me, when Bron didn't come out at number 2, I was shocked because I didn't know it was announced. You know, they have to realize that a lot of people don't watch the kickoff because they don't make anything significant happen there. So maybe this is a lesson learned for us. But watch, I'll tune in to whatever next show's kickoff happens, and nothing will happen.
Yeah, that's seriously.
Just about to sit down interviews and just yapping.
I'll just get Stephanie McMahon interviewing Triple H to be like, "What's it like to be on the front cover of a video game?
What's it like to be you?" Anyway, Peter Robertsberg.
I'm buying the Triple H edition, by the way.
Peter Robertsberg and Jackie are in Saudi. We got to sit down with Shawn Michaels because why not? Why wouldn't we want to sit down with Shawn Michaels? But as Biggie says, I am an over-feminist. Jackie Redmond replaced Cole. Robertsberg replaced Wade. Punk said Lash fans are called Lash holes, which was quite funny. Top 10 Rumble moments, which was number 1 was Cody Rhodes winning the Rumble. Okay. Sit down with Sammy. Drew interviewed. He told Punk you have to earn the right to fight for the number 1 world championship. And as you mentioned, Monty, earlier, I cannot believe it's been 25 years since Stone Cold won his 3rd Rumble. I do like Rumble by the numbers.
Hold on. First of all, Did they say Cody Rhodes the number one moment?
They said Cody Rhodes winning back to back was the number one Rumble moment.
All right, go ahead.
That's what I say. I don't know if you saw any of it, but Punk was good on the panel, and he did speak well of
Oh,
AJ Styles, which I thought was a nice touch. But again, he's just a corporate puppet now, isn't he?
hey man, that man is in his 40s. Let that man make his money. Yeah, a lot of people corporate than 40 something. Anyway, but yeah, I saw clips. I saw clips from the show, and I did. Yeah, he's always been entertaining though. I remember I'll never forget they put him on commentary when he was injured, and he's always been good with that. So the one thing him and Brian Danielson will always do good. But yeah, this is I don't watch these things. It's usually a lot of pointless information outside of him being number two, bro, Baker Reed number two. So like you said, watch out, guys. Out of the how long this was, 2 hours. Out of the 2 hours of content you sitting down, you might get 2 minutes that is very important to you later.
That's why it's
yeah.
on. That's why it's on ESPN two, because you get 2 minutes.
2 minutes that might be important. There you go.
Oh. Anyway, on to the main show, the 38th annual Royal Rumble. And we started with the Women's Royal Rumble. We will do mini games afterwards, all right? But if anybody wants to shout out something that they noticed during it, let me know. Charlotte was number one, and their best friend was number two, Alexa Bliss. I mean, Gina, what are the chances of that happening? Hey, do you know what I mean? What are the chances of those starting the Rumble?
It's times like this that you're like, oh, okay, they say that the Royal Rumble is random, but it's not.
It really isn't. They played a couple of games and waited for number three, which is Kiani James. We did see what looked like an entire stand of empty seats. Apparently, it was the lighting at Fort Monty, all right? It wasn't that there was no fans there disinterested. It was the lights. It was the LED, all right?
I wonder how much better they think they'd make it. So all right. So let's go with what they're saying. It wasn't the fact that no one was there, or like you said, then the lighting. The lighting is why it was quiet, and I can literally hear the women. I can literally hear like every step the women took in the ring, and there's all of that. That's okay. So all right. It was a full arena, guys. They just didn't care about anything that was going on. That is so much better, you guys.
Yeah, well done, guys. Nia Jax was number four, and number five was Ivy Nile. Ivy looked good, but it sounded like there was half a crowd there. We can't blame the lights on that, like we mentioned. Number six, Lola Vice entered her first Rumble. Lola's dancing was stopped by Nia. Candice LeRae came in at number seven and teamed with Jax, which didn't do her any good. Number eight was Jordan Grace in her second Rumble. And I've got to say, I have never, ever seen Jordan Grace covered up. Like, ever. Not in a creepy way, but just watching her in Impact for that amount of time. It seemed odd to cover. It's a bit like Jade Cargill. You just don't cover up that, do you, Anyway, Grace eliminated Vice and LeRae. Ivonar was next to fill the juggernaut as Grace got her third elimination. Charlotte took out Jax on the apron and accidentally sent Bliss flying, And then the man was number 9 with Lynch and Charlotte facing off. Of course, both have won this match. A third of the way through was a perfect 10, Sol Ruka. Number 11 was Roxanne Perez. Maxine Dupree brought the fire at 12. Number 13 was Natty. Becky took out Maxine. And then I think, Gina, and the biggest surprise so far, Natty took out Becky Lynch, which many people weren't expecting.
Yeah, I mean, can I just say, quickly going back, Maxine reacted way too quickly before Natalia's music even dropped. So again, another like
Yep.
she just reacted way too quickly. She already had the look of horror on her face, and the music hadn't even dropped yet. So I was just like, rah, okay. But then to that, of all people to eliminate Becky to be Natty, fine if you're gonna do a storyline out of it, but it kind of just made no sense. Apart from, oh, okay, Natty, we owe your family something, so you can get this elimination.
Good for her. Number 14, Liv Morgan, and more importantly, Gina's pick. Halfway through, and Lash Legend arrived. She took out everyone in her path, including eliminating Jordan Grace.
Lash looked so good. She looked so good.
How good? Honestly, unbelievable. 16 was Zelina Vega. She's not just a manager. Unfortunately, Lash used her as a weapon. Number 17 was Raquel Rodriguez. Monty, isn't she getting a title shot on Raw? Like what? I know she wants to win the Rumble, but does she want to challenge herself? Is that
James, you're using logic. Stop using. You're not supposed to use your brain. You're just supposed to watch. Okay, James. What the hell is wrong with you?
I don't know. All three Judgment Day women are in now, which spelt bad news for Kiani James. And Monty, as you mentioned way earlier, we were kind of chatting through this. And Gina, Kiani James is someone that maybe we've not seen a lot on, but did impress in the Rumble, didn't she?
Oh my gosh, I would definitely say the one of the biggest surprises was seeing how easy Kiana James found it to square off with people like Nia, Lash Legend, people who are more on the taller side and the muscly side. Like she actually looked like she could be in a singles matches against all of these women. So I definitely feel like because of the personas that they make them play and they don't really give Kiana like time to warm to the crowd. They were even shocked at seeing this talent.
Yeah, without a doubt. Number 18 and the biggest pop since Becky was Chelsea Green. And I think her and Liv's outfits were the best. Green's backhand to Liv probably wasn't the best idea, but Alba felt the fire. Number 19 was Julia. She's the women's US champion. Alba helped Green survive the beautiful madness. At 20 was Io Sky, and Io did wake up the crowd with her taunt. Number 21 was Oscar, and we did have a cool freeway between Oscar, Io, and Julia. It's just the
It
same. Julia just
it was
has,
let down, I find, by the crowd not realizing how
Yeah,
big it
they didn't
was to
even
have
notice
these
it.
three all
yeah,
just stood doing the Spider-Man
yeah.
move to each other.
Yeah, yeah. I was
Um,
marking out at home, and they just seemed to not even care. And I'm just like, well, that's the downside. But man, we'll talk about what I felt about Saudi in general. But yeah, yeah. Moments like that is the perfect example of just like why this just did not hit in this location. But it was great to see them just interact at all because again, we got three different generations of really great Joshi or Japanese women professional wrestlers uh, who again for in their eras earned their spot in WWE by being the best. So it's really cool to just see them all together.
Yeah, without a doubt. Number 22 was Rhea Ripley, who reminded me of Edward Scissorhands. She got the pyro treatment.
Mm.
Julia sent Vega packing, and Rhea lied to us. She wasn't joining the secret Hervis. Instead, she sent Green on her way. Rhea sent Rocks out with a razor's edge as well to cap off an impressive 2 minutes. Bailey was 23. The NXT Women's Champion was number 24, JC
Mm,
Jade.
mm, mm.
I mean, with her luck, I'm surprised she didn't win the fucker. Do you know? Do you know what I mean? But Liv sent Natty packing. Nikki Bella was 25. Gina, she's been back a year. Nikki Bella, a whole year.
Why?
did,
Yeah.
did it, did it did it feel like
Well,
she's done a lot here?
Awesome moments, right? She's been
Yeah,
great.
delivering.
Yeah.
Number 26 was Live Valkyria. How far has she dropped as well? We talk about others, and I think at some point Lyra was going to be next in line. And
What is she in, James? A tag
yeah,
team.
tag team. Well, with Bailey's help, they got rid of Julia, and Kalani Jordan was 27. I mean, Monty, that was a little bit surprised. I'm thinking out of all the NXT, Kalani Jordan, but I think she deserved a moment.
Yeah, I mean, she's in that tier of NXT talent that I do think is closer to being like she deserves to be right there with Lola in a sense too, if you go off her skill level. But yeah, at this point, when it came to NXT women, I was just wondering. Like, I think it was more notable who they didn't choose because I know it felt like after a while, it's like we probably not gonna get any crazy surprises out of Saudi Arabia. Who are they forcing to go because they're too young to be able to tell them no?
Yeah. Well, the problem is Wade was calling her Kalani James, which made me think they'd either changed their name or I'd got it wrong for the past couple of years. But I mean, Michael
Mm.
Cole corrected him, and if Cole's correcting you, you are in trouble. 28, 28 was the pirate princess Kari Sane. She accidentally took out Oscar, thanks in part to Uyo, who seemed upset but still eliminated Kari. And I mean, Gina, even in the Rumble, EO sold that kind of sadness, and Kari is going to get beaten from Oscar later.
She did. She actually seemed genuinely concerned for Kyrie, and it seems consistent with how we've seen them do backstage stuff. And when Kyrie hangs back and then gets Kyrie from Asuka, Io's always looking quite concerned for Kyrie. And so it's nice to see that consistency still happen even in the Rumble. And it's little things like this that you enjoy and that you do look out on. That's why it really is gut wrenching when no one makes more of a hype when these moments happen.
Yeah, without a doubt. 29 was Brie Bella. Great, there's two of them. Yes, chant broke out. I mean, Monty, this is your fault. I think you've got, what do they say when you kind of harvested this? Do you know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah,
brought Brie back, you brought the Bellas back.
yep. I just hope they stick with Nikki Bella theme song because man, whew, please don't bring back the auto tune. Brie Bella.
God,
Oh,
that
it's so.
song.
Oh, it was so
Like
horrible.
nails on a chalkboard.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's really my takeaway. Is this my fault or am I a fortune teller? Ooh,
No,
am
maybe.
I?
Well,
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? What do I
the
know?
last, you tell me. The last entrant wasn't Bianca Belair, but it was Tiffany Stratton, and Charlotte faced off with Tiff. At this point, there was still 14 left in the match. 14. I was
Yep.
like, what are they doing? The Bellas sent Bailey and Lyra on their way. Casey Jane sent Kalani packing. The NXT Women's Champion then felt Soul Snatcher and was eliminated. Lash impressively sent the Bellas out and then capped it off by sending Charlotte on her way. Flair was 50 seconds short of an hour. And then Legend heel kicked Io on the apron. I mean, Gina, I know you said Lash Legend impressive, but I don't recognize her from NXT. This is not the same woman. Like, she was a monster in the Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really familiar with how she was in NXT,
I
but
hated her.
she
Awful.
impressed me. She impressed me in the Royal Rumble, and for me, I was more in awe at just watching her go and being like, "Wait, I didn't see this on NXT," but then I didn't watch NXT often enough.
Honestly, it was awful. But Lash obviously taking the EO out pissed Ripley off. Lash thought she was in control. She focused on Raquel, but she McIntyred herself, and Ripley took advantage. Rodriguez was quick to pounce and sent Ripley packing, only for Liv then to send her partner to the floor. I thought this was quite a. Raquel did look quite strong here at that point in time until obviously she got eliminated. This left the final three: Liv, Tiff, and Soul. Soul hit the double Soul snatchers to Liv and Tiff and looked to eliminate them, but inexperience played a part as they all found themselves on an apron. An attempted Soul snatcher was reversed, and Tiff sent her to the floor, only to be caught by Liv, and Stratton fell into oblivion. Your 2026 Royal Rumble winner is Liv Morgan. Gina starts off. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, to be honest, I was really happy, not just because of what I had gone with in my picks, but I feel like Liv has always been the runner up when it comes to Royal Rumbles. I think the past two or three, she's like been in the final four at least, or the final three at least. So for me, I felt like a real sense of happiness for her because she's finally got that win. But also in terms of like a heel side, you're like, oh shit, she is gonna run terror with this now, because why wouldn't she? She's already a terror when she doesn't have a belt or a championship reign or something. So no, I was quite pleased for her. I was happy for the top three, although like again, Sol Ruka is new for me, so me watching her, I was impressed, but I don't really know much about Sol Ruka, so I was quite like, oh shit, who the hell does she pay off to get into the top three of this? But she obviously looked good doing it. So yeah, the ending wasn't too bad for me. I do have like thoughts on the overall women's rumble, but I'll let Monty give his thoughts on the ending first.
Yeah. Well, we say this is the ninth Women's Royal Rumble, and there's only Natalia and Liv that has been in every Rumble, which I think is mind blowing when you think about it. Monty, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with a lot with what Gina just mentioned. Except like I do think that the ending itself was probably the best part of the match. I think First of all, guys, I'm glad for anybody who watched the NXT podcast. Uh, I've been telling James for the longest. The thing wasn't necessarily that Lash was always awful. I know how WWE books people. Lash is 6'7". She's legit 6'7". She's not bigger than these women on some fluke
She's
stuff. Like
actually 6'7".
she played women's basketball. Like Lash Legend is a big
Shit.
woman. She's a legit big woman. Like she is not like I know how wrestling works. I know how WWE works. I knew it's all she needed to do was learn more about the business, get involved and stuff, and if they put her in the ring with the right people, she's gonna be good. If you watch any interaction post this that Rhea has had with Lash, Rhea is loving it because she finally got a big woman that she can do all this stuff that she can't do with the smaller women with. So like Lash is huge and she played basketball. Like she I knew that she had the potential. She always had personality. So the fact that she was big, I knew that she would dominate in this setting because big people, for the most part, especially if they can move like Lash can, they're gonna always kind of shine in this position. So I thought they did a really good job of showcasing and making sure that they showcased like that potential and that talent, that she has. And I think the thing is about the best positive that I can say about this, even with like a Solo Ruka, is that I think some people who may not even be on the roster yet, or people like Lash who are new, got a chance to shine and actually look like the stars of the future. Because we talk about the men's division all the time, but we know what Becky, we know where Rhea is now and Io is now. It is going to be a time where we're going to have to start, and I think we're already there with like the Jordan Graces and all of that, and Roxanne, of course. It's going to be time. We see what Liv Morgan is now. It's going to be time now that we're going to have to pull other people along the way to get past this era where you always have to rely on the Charlotte, always have to rely on the Beckys, Alexas, and even Oscar to an extent. So it's time for that next generation. And I think this Royal Rumble, the positives from this Royal Rumble is the fact that I felt like they did a decent to pretty good job for the most part of like kind of, if you want to have a good takeaway from this Royal Rumble, it would be that the future seems to be in a good place with women's wrestling. And James, you know that all the women we've been watching on NXT, I think that is the future in general of WWE, if they're smart, is to kind of lean into what we've been seeing on NXT, which is the fact that the women are coming along a lot better and faster than the men. And I can't really wait to talk about the men's Royal Rumble because I think that's a key kind of difference in between these two matches. Even though I agree with you, Gina, there's some other parts of this match where I'm just like, what the hell? Who put this shit together?
Yeah, I mean the crowd ruined a lot of this for me, and it kind of just not invested, and
Yes.
there was no surprise entrance apart from Brie. I mean, unless you count
Yep.
Nikki as maybe
Yeah, no
Tiff.
legends were
Yeah.
involved.
Tiffany, I guess, is like a
Mm.
return in a sense. Yeah. So
And I don't know about you, Gina, but I just felt there wasn't much going on and felt messy at times. Like they were just
yeah.
waiting to the end.
It did. It did. There were like times where I could just see, others were just hanging around waiting for others to have their spots. And I don't know, like I was saying to Jax whilst watching it at one point that this is one of the things that Royal Rumble is lacking on now that I find. When I was younger and I would get excited to watch it with my dad, it's the unknown going into these Royal Rumbles, unknown on who's coming out as first, who's coming out as last, who's going to come back, what legends are going to show up, what storylines are going to continue on here, what storylines are going to start from here. And I don't know, at this point, it didn't really feel like that same magic watching this. And I'm not saying that's any reflection on any of the women wrestlers involved. I just think overall, with the lack of the crowds that gave it that magic, with the lack of hype that each spot kind of deserved to have and it just didn't get, it overall just felt disappointing for the ladies because it felt like it should have been more hyped than it was.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah, it was a bit of a shame, but out of five, then, Gina, what would you score it
um 4. I'll give it a 4.
for Monty?
I give it 3 3/4. I think again, I think that score kind of perfectly represents like how I thought. Like one part of it felt like good, and once the stakes got higher, it felt like we were really cooking with grease in a sense. But the first, like you said, the first half of it, and like you said, from a entrance standpoint, or not really from a surprise standpoint, from a storytelling standpoint, because like as much as I like building up the new Natty character, I hate trying to showcase like her elimination of Becky being an example, but it is an example because we didn't get any advancement. A lot of eliminations happen without us feeling like we advanced a lot of storylines, and that's just, in my opinion, all kind of tough. Maybe we created some, and I have to look back and just kind of see. But for the most part, it just felt like a lot of randomness. So to kind of showcase that, like the two, I feel like we came up with two halves of the match. That one is like, okay, this is really good, and one part of it where it's just like, all right, I don't know what the hell going on. So it's just like I'm gonna give it 3.5 for this.
Yeah. No, I think it's true. Though. I might have to go back and watch old Rumbles because I'm pretty sure, yeah, they used to set up a lot more than just kind of random interactions between people. But
Right.
I'll give it a 4.25 predictions. But the WNR Prediction League 2026, we've only had Wrestle Kingdom, so the WWE and AEW are blank, and I am one up on the bonus. But this is all going to change. For normal predictions, Gina went Liv, the rest went Belair, so we all took a chance. And I mean, Gina, well done for that, I'm going to say. Because sometimes, like I said, with a Rumble, you want to go a bit crazy. And I think you were very sensible.
Yes. No, to be honest, Bianca was my other choice. So I was really close to sort of just going with the unanimous vote with Bianca. But then I think I had watched last year's and the year before Rumbles leading up to it, and I had noticed that Liv was kind of like just around there, but not getting that win. And with where she was in the storyline, I thought, let me risk it. I'm going to go with Liv. So I'm so glad it paid off.
I'm glad I went for someone that wasn't in the Rumble, and I've done that more than once, I will say. So Gina's on 1, the rest on 0. The Rumble mini games. So we picked both for men's and for women. So I'm just going to run them through now. So number 1, I went for Liv, Jaxie went for Tiff, Monty went Rhea, Gina went for EO. So actual was Charlotte. So no points. Number 30, I went for Belair. Jaxie went for Paige. Monty went Belair. Gina went Belair. Actual Tiffy. So no points. The final 4 actual was Liv, Sol, Tiff, and Raquel. I went for Belair, Charlotte, Liv, and Stratton. So I got 2 points. And Jaxie put Belair, Alexa, Liv, and Lash. I got 1 point. Monty went Bianca, Liv, Rhea, and Becky. So got 1 point. And Gina went Ripley, Blair, Lash, and Liv. So 1 point there as well. Santino, the quickest. I went Chelsea Green. Jackson went Lyra. Monty went Nikki. And Gina went Maxine Dupree. It was Kari with just -2 minutes. But Dupree only did about 10 seconds more. So again, no points, but very close. Iron Man, or Iron Woman, the longest. I went Liv. Jax went Bianca. Monty went Liv. Gina went Rhea Ripley. Charlotte, so we got no points. Most eliminations all went Lash. So Lash with 5 and all got a point. So we can all feel good about ourselves there. Who eliminates who? I put Lash eliminates Jax. Blair eliminates Liv. Charlotte eliminates Lash, so no points. Jaxie put Alexa eliminates Charlotte. Raquel eliminates Lyra. Maxine eliminates Becky. Charlotte eliminated Bliss, and Becky eliminated Maxine. Well, that's tough. No points. Monty put Becky eliminates AJ, Liv eliminates EO, and Natty eliminates Maxine. As mentioned with Lynch and Natty sent her out. AJ wasn't in the Rumble, so no points. And Gina put Alexa eliminates Charlotte, AJ Lee eliminates Becky, Oscar eliminates Kari. And like we said, Kari eliminated Oscar to make it worse for Gina for no points. Surprises. I put Belair, Michelle McCall, and Trish, which were no points. Jaxie put Belair, Paige, and Trish, which were no points. Monty put Sol Ruka, Bianca, and Tiffany Stratton, so got 2 points. Ooh. Gina put Paige, Tiffany, and Trish for 1 point. And lucky number, which number wins the Rumble? None of us got it. All right. I'm not even going to bother trying to repeat what numbers we got. We weren't near. So the scores, the bonus league right now. Jaxie is on 2, Gina is on 3, Monty is on 4, and I am on 4. But obviously, I only got 3 there, but you add the Wrestle Kingdom score. So we're all quite close as it comes around. Gina, you're still in with a shout here because last year Monty just ran away with Rumble, so we're in tight as we go to the men's one.
Yeah, I need to try and keep this crown, so I'm gonna work my hardest to keep it.
Yeah, no, it's tough. It's tough. Right, up next, one of the most anticipated match of the weekend. So AJ Styles puts career on the line against Gunter. They started with a headlock sequence that saw Styles trying to wear Gunter down. He also began to work on the ring general's leg with some kicks to soften up the calf crusher. Styles was bleeding from cutting his arm after being slammed on the announce table. And Gunter may be one of the most dominant stars on the roster, but he did a good job making Styles look like a dangerous competitor by selling for him at the right times. The longer they worked, the better the match was. We had some convincing false finishes, but it finally ended with Styles passing out in a sleeper hold. It's official. The career of the Formula One has come to an end. The arena was almost silent because the fans couldn't believe it. But AJ didn't leave his gloves in the ring. He gave a salute one last time before walking out, maybe for the final time. Monty, what were your thoughts on this?
I thought this was excellent, man. I thought it was really well done. Again, I thought they did a good job of playing on like the hopes, kind of like what I mentioned earlier. If you know, that I think everybody, especially anybody who was just holding on to the hope that this wasn't it for AJ. I think they did a good job in this match, kind of playing on that drama. Even the crowd. You know, it's funny how you change the gender slash the participants, and here we are, and you actually get a crowd who seem to be invested in what's going on. You know, and again, that's I like we mentioned earlier about the Royal Rumble. That has nothing to do with the women. Obviously, has a lot to do with the location, but that is just kind of the reality of doing a pay per view like this there. But yeah, again, I thought they did everything pretty well. It was I don't really know if you can do the fundamentals and things that we expect from these two guys any better than they did it, because I mean this is just kind of like what I would expect if you told me Gunther and AJ were going to have a match. I thought this was way better than the match in the first one, and I even thought they could have went a little bit better. I mean, AJ and Nakamura, in my opinion, probably were a better match than this one, and of course AJ and Gunther. And I don't know, maybe Cena and Gunther was a little better than this if you want to go, but I think it's a little debatable. But I do thought it was just great, and I thought AJ brought everything he had, and it would have been nice to kind of get AJ to kind of like in my mind, in the back of my mind, especially as we kind of got to that dramatic end. I was like, AJ is going to low blow him and possibly pull this out. And I think that just show you how good of a job they did of telling the story, that I was still kind of entertaining AJ still finding a way to pull this out. Maybe it's because I didn't want it to be the end, but in my opinion, I think that's really good storytelling. And if it is the end, I think we all know at this point, AJ is the greatest Impact wrestler of all time by far, and we end up having one of the greatest international in Japan and just WWE run, because that's just and you got to think about it. Before AJ, and I said this, it's a similar thing to Punk, but like really, what AJ kind of did has never really been done before. We've never seen a guy who was made basically a legend elsewhere come into WWE and then make himself a bigger legend, in my opinion. By having a successful run in under this banner. Whether he goes on and does anything else, I've seen people have different debates about whether or not he will or not. I don't really know, but I know at the end of the day, I'm appreciative of what he was able to pull out of himself and what he was able to accomplish under the WWE banner. Because again, like I said, that didn't happen for a lot of people. So it's really cool to see that he was able to be great everywhere he's ever been, and it just show you the legend that AJ is. And this is a fitting end. I don't know how I feel. I mean, I don't know. I don't know I don't know if Gunther needed to be the career killer that he's become. Like, I don't think he necessarily needed that if you really think about how successful Gunther has really been in his career. But at the end of the day, that's where we at, and we're head first in it, and he's killed another career, guys. It's crazy.
Yeah. Like you said, I mean, I followed AJ for as long as John Cena, and he was one of the reasons I watched TNA. To come to WWE in 2016 and become champion, especially under the Vince booking, was amazing, you know, because even when the face-to-face between AJ and Punk, you realize how kind of small AJ is. So he didn't have the height, so it was just the talent and everything like that. And not only that, but this podcast has covered that decade, so we can go back to when he debuted at Rumble 2016 and bookmark it at Rumble 2026, which is not great in Saudi Arabia, but again, to have that 10-year stretch when you add what he did in Japan, what he did in obviously TNA, as they talk about being the greatest TNA star of all time. And it's interesting you mentioned Gunther as the career killer. I mean, Gina, what are your thoughts, I say, on this match, on the career of AJ Styles, and obviously what the future holds for Gunther? Can it be Brock next, you know?
Yeah, please take him out and just keep him from our screens. Okay, so one thing I will quickly say is none of this is in any shade to Gunther as a person or a wrestler or anything like that. I thought the match was good. I thought it was very hyped by the crowd who seemed to wake up after the women's. But in my eyes, there was more significance with the Shinsuke match with AJ. So if there was going to be a retirement match for me, I think it was better with the Shinsuke match was much better. But in terms of like this match, I get that they're trying to make Gunther now, you know, this new career killer. I'm gonna kill everyone's career and be their last match. I don't think it's necessarily needed. I think they just did it because he's done this with Goldberg and John Cena now. So they're like, okay, this is your new gimmick now, sort of thing. But I don't think it was necessarily needed. I think you could have even had the Shinsuke and AJ match at the Rumble here, and it still have been just a great pay-per-view worthy match, you know. But again, I think they just did it because they want Gunther going with this career killer storyline now. So yeah, I mean, I think they put on a good match for you know what they were given. I didn't really get the fact that he didn't put his gloves down though. I was quite confused on as to whether I was missing out the significance of that, and I was like, does this mean he is still gonna wrestle, or like just not in WWE? Or is this him saying, no, I don't want to, I like these gloves, I don't want to lose them, so I'm going to keep them with me and not leave them in the ring, you know? So I didn't know if there was any significance behind that. But as a whole, AJ Styles has been absolutely amazing from what I've got to watch him. And I went on holiday with my niece last year and I was watching wrestling and SummerSlam, and my niece has never watched wrestling before, and her favorite was instantly AJ Styles. She actually watched his match against Dominic Mysterio 3 times throughout the entire summer holiday that we had together. So it just shows you that even children who don't know who he is, he just makes that much of a significant impact. He's that charming to watch and see more of, and that's what I'll remember for sure. And just a lot of love and respect to whatever he goes on to next.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, like you said, Triple H did mention in the post show, which we'll get on obviously in a little bit, that AJ, you know, his career and what he's accomplished, he will kind of be like the Shawn Michaels of his generation, where there'll be even wrestlers now probably got into the industry because of AJ Styles, and that's the kind of reach it's been. It's just weird that we've had 3 kind of huge wrestlers retiring within a couple of months of each other, it seems, you know, and the impact that they have actually had. But yeah, AJ put the gloves on as well. I mean, Stephanie grilled him on her podcast, and he said he did that just because his son is interested in getting wrestling, so he might come back for one match during like a tag match or, you know, something like this. A lot of people saying that, oh, he's going to go on his AEW run as soon as his contract runs out. What I wouldn't mind is, you know, Bound for Glory maybe having it her last match in TNA, but I don't know. As for the scores,
Do you
Monty, what would
reckon
you
he
give
would
it?
ever go back to
Sorry.
New Japan for like a special match?
I don't know, Monty.
Yeah, Monty, what do you reckon?
Yeah,
I
Monty.
doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. They can't even keep their damn roster. No,
Okay, never
Oh,
hey,
mind then.
well.
don't get me started. Don't
We
get me
started him
started
off.
on
I'm
that.
sorry,
Oh
Gina. We've
God,
done
they
it.
can't even pay
I'm
their damn
sorry.
wrestlers. Anyway, 4.5. Jay.
No. We'll move on quickly, Gina.
Yeah, I'll go 4.5.
4.5. Predictions: we went Gunter, Sagina's on 2, the rest are on 1. The WWE Championship was next with Sami Zayn versus our champion Drew McIntyre. And going to this bout, the champ had an 11-0 record against the challenger. So Zayn was an even bigger underdog than usual. The underdog from the Underground Low was the overwhelming fan favourite. McIntyre tried to assert his dominance right away, but Zayn didn't let him have the upper hand for too long. Zayn kicked out of the Future Shock DDT about 3. I mean, just don't bother with the Future Shock anymore, Drew. All right, just leave it. Which kind of kept the outcome maybe being a bit more bit as predictable as maybe appeared at first. I mean, McIntyre won as expected, but there was moments that Zayn might actually get the victory. But it is good to see Drew get a decisive win. Gina, I don't know if you know this, but I love Drew as champion. You know. Mm.
No. Do you really?
Yeah, I know. I
I
know it
never
feels like I'm
knew.
stating the obvious, but
I
yeah.
never knew that. No, I mean, this match was good. I'm not gonna lie, I was really worried for Drew. Not because I thought he was losing a lot in this match, but I was really worried that, Riyadh really loved Sammy, and WWE have been known to just let Drew have the belt just to lose it real quick as soon as he's got it again. So I was really worried, because there were a lot of like near misses that Sammy could have got that win. And don't get me wrong, I would have been happy for Sammy because he even gave that sob story about his son asking why he's never had the belt before. But I just thought they can't do this to Drew. So I will admit that I breathed a sigh of relief when Drew got the win here. I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed the match. I thought the crowd were really into it. And you got to love to hate Drew, don't you? He just kind of plays that perfect prick. You wanna you wanna see lose, but also win at the same time. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely think that there were times that it looked like Sammy was going to get the win, but overall, I think the right winner won.
Yeah, without a doubt. Monty?
Yeah, he had a couple moments, but to me, man, the match was very, very just it was okay. It was a good match. It was okay, but I really was kind of surprised that of how like dominant they let Drew. And then Drew, don't get me wrong, Drew deserves to be a dominant champion. I think I was just like I said, when Drew was losing all the time, I wanted him to be dominant. So don't get me, I'm not trying to contradict myself on what I said in the past. But I'm just saying that for it didn't really give me too much of a vibe that Sammy really had a much chance, not a good chance on winning, and I don't know. That's just the kind of overall vibe I got from
I
watching the
picture the
match.
roll up happening.
And that would have been, and yeah, that I guess maybe that would have been the way he could have did it, like a flash pin. But you know, but yeah, even while I was watching, I was just looking at how much offense they kind of let Drew get in, and just how dominant he was in the match. And I know you was probably too over the moon for you to even really care about any other outcome, James. But yeah, man. So it was good. It was really, really good. But yeah, it just you run the risk, and like I don't know. I think at this point, the only way I think when Sammy wins it, he's probably gonna do it as a heel. I know I won't. I know I've said it in the past that if Sammy does it, I think he deserves to get it like as a babyface because he's worked so hard and like that's just seems like the way for him to do it, for him to overcome that mountain. But the more he's lost, it like at some point he's gonna have to get disillusioned with, I mean, we've been doing this, and he running the risk if he doesn't turn here. He running the risk of telling a story that's way too similar to the story that we already almost kind of telling at a faster pace with Cody because I think Cody losing the belt and a lot of the stuff he's been kind of dealing with, and we're slowly but seeing Cody kind of be more aggressive and do things a little bit differently. But I don't know if Sammy needs to tell that exact same story. But I'm just saying, it feels like he's further away from the championship than he ever was before. And sometimes that's why it's like not saying he should have beat Roman Reigns way back, but if he beat Roman Reigns and then lost it a couple weeks later, way back, like what would the trajectory for Sammy's career at this point be compared to where he's at now. Because now it's like when Sammy wins, I see people call him Sammy Hogan, and he's the opposite of Hulk Hogan because he never wins for the most part. So it's just funny to me. But like, and I think you've been harsh to Sammy James, but a lot of what you're saying, in my opinion, ain't got much to do with Sammy. It just got a lot to do with this story that they've been telling now. What Royal Rumble I went to? What I think that's 2023, 2022. They've been telling that same, can he finally get over the mountain story for almost 3 years at least, or and longer than that, really. So yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting where they are with Sammy. But congratulations, it's good that Drew got this because I do think giving him somebody that's not named Cody and Fatu and giving him a fresh babyface contender does solidify him and make him feel more legit as the world champion. So that it was really good for Drew to get a good dominant win on pay-per-view. Because I don't know. I mean, we'll see what WrestleMania looks like, but it's gonna be an interesting road to get there as champion for Drew. So, at the end of the day, Drew is on top of the mountain now. Now, I came away from this match more interested in what the hell Sammy is gonna ever do because I think Drew is finally where he needs to be.
Well, I'm always in a state of panic when it comes to Drew McIntyre, so I just wanted to 1, 2, 3, and we're fine. But I have had a little dream. Because they're building up this Sammy's never beaten Drew and he wants to be world champion. Can I dream of Drew McIntyre holding the title until WrestleMania next year and Sammy beating him in Saudi Arabia at WrestleMania, finally getting a victory over Drew? Will they do that? I don't know.
No.
And I don't know. Go on.
I want to, before also, and I think if he would have won it here, an interesting thing would have happened. Are y'all with the theory that if Sammy wins it in Saudi Arabia, he'll be celebrated like a hero there, but that might almost immediately turn him heel here because it'll feel like he's like where they only gave you the belt because of the Saudi Arabian influence. And we know how a lot of the fans feel about WWE's relationship with them in general. So like, I'm thinking, I agree with you guys because immediately, when this match happened, I was like, oh, Drew might be in trouble because he's in Saudi Arabia. But like, does that have a potential domino effect of people being like, instead of being an underdog, you were kind of placed there because of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think if he wins the world champion, he'll have to change. Maybe be like an underdog, maybe they'll book him like a Rey Mysterio world champion, But I'll be pretty sure if he does win the title at WrestleMania, Backlash will be in Montreal just to make
sure. Right, just to be sure. Right, hell yeah.
To make sure.
Good point,
I don't like the women's and other world titles only being defended every other PLE. And
Me
Gina,
neither.
Gina, this is the thing about, having 4 matches on a card, which is, I think, silly anyway, especially with 2 Rumbles. You should always split it and just give more. But again, this means Drew will probably have the chamber off because it's probably Punk's time. And the women's titles, well, you wouldn't have another women's match at Saudi Arabia, would you? But you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's things like this that does make you question what would work and what wouldn't. In some ways, do you restrain current champions from being involved in the Rumble at all? Like, should Julia have just had her own United States storyline and match based on that? It does make you sit and question that because even the tag champions are involved with the Rumbles, and it's like, should they be though? Because you're in the tag league, so you should be more focused on that. The Royal Rumble match card can afford to be, I say, longer. Put it across 2 nights and have one of the Rumbles one night, one of the Rumbles another night, and have more like championship matches as well that will then make those championships feel like they mean something. Right now, like I think Monty mentioned earlier in the pod, I think Becky's belt is probably the only one that feels like it's quite significant at this point. The others just don't seem relevant, and I'm including the tag belts for both men and women's, and the US championship. I mean, I think like since Ilya Dragunov has won the belt and then it's gone to Carmelo, like that belt started to make itself a little bit up there again, but like most of the belts just don't really feel prestigious anymore. That's what I'm getting at, and it's because they don't get a lot of limelight on PLE events, especially the ladies matches. There's the main matches where they'll have the women's championship match, but you won't get a women's US match lined up and a big storyline built around that for a PLE.
Yeah, it's completely Like I said, it would be the Raw SmackDown before, or like I said, Monty said about the tag team titles as well, and it's the main show's got the champions, well not used right. So out of 5 then anyway for the WWE title match, Monty, what would you give it?
He was 3 3/4.
3 3/4. Gina,
Yeah, I'll go same.
3 3/4. I gave it a 4 1/4 because I am insanely biased. We all went McIntyre. Gina's on 3. The rest is on 2. And now it is time for the men's Royal Rumble match. Bollocks. My pick was number 1 over Femi, but it's some way to make your main roster debut, I suppose. And we knew number 2, Bron Breakker. He was attacked by a masked man who stomped him and escaped through the crowd. Who did it? Do we care? Bron was then thrown in and then thrown out by Obafemi. Monty, another masked man. We just can't get rid of the bastard.
We have to ban Triple H from black jackets and masks and just Jesus. He's booked it into the ground. I dare somebody else to make a surprise appearance in something else other than a mask and a black hoodie. It goes back to another thing too. It goes back to what you were saying. For them to occupy so much damn TV time, I just wish this mattered more. I just wish all this mattered more. We could blame self injury, but it was kind of formulaic. It just got worse without self. Like you had no direction, and it just got more. Just you wasting my time. But like now with this whole, who the masked man, and then even all right. So you guys tell me who could be unmasked here that's gonna make you guys care about this situation, because I think we all probably got a feeling that the grand unmasked gonna be self, but like who else? Well, Bad Bunny, who else? Who else can be
Jake
masked
Paul.
here?
Jake Paul is what we want. We want a tag match at WrestleMania.
I personally think it's Snooki.
Now that you know what? I might be a little excited for that. That's exciting.
That's
Can I
funny.
just also comment, just to make a note on Obafemi being number 1 and being first? He looked like a king coming out at number 1. I'm not gonna lie. He looked like a boss. I had a work friend who doesn't watch wrestling, but her husband does, and she came into my work and said, "I don't watch wrestling, but my husband had it on, and I saw this man coming out, and instantly I already knew I wanted to watch wrestling." Just from seeing Obafemi walking out with the aura that he did. So can I just say that man, he definitely needs to go far.
Yep, we are all over feminists without a doubt. Number 3 in the Rumble was Solo in his first Rumble match. What the Jeff? How is this Solo's first match?
Wait,
Uh,
what?
yeah, it
It's
was
like
Solo's first.
Solo's
What the fuck's
first
he been
Rumble.
doing? Yeah, what's he been doing?
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Catering.
Yeah, he's sitting there. Number 4 was Rey Mysterio. Then it was Meaty Men slapping meat as Rusev came out of 5. Oba made short work of the Bulgarian brute, and we hope he fares better on Dynamite.
He still works there? Oh, okay, cool.
Look, Dynamite is an option, and hopefully, like we said, once he gets there and airs his differences.
Nah, I think he gonna retire after.
Where's Gunter? Femi then sent Solo out and was left with Ray. Mysterio went for a 619 and was caught and thrown out. Number 6 was Matt Cardona. He was living his dream, but he didn't last to see number 7, who was Damian Priest. Number 8 was Javon Evans, and this boy is bouncy. And it is nice to see what should have been the stand and deliver main event in the Rumble. And I know, Monty, I've complained about this a lot. But again, I suppose it's nice to see them. Number 9 was Mr. Iguana, and Wade Barrett were a Brian Conley impression. Well, acting like Dangerous Brian, Mr. Iguana flew headfirst into the action, even if the crowd didn't have a fucking clue what was going on. You see, Gina, it's not just women. You put a masked man with a pet iguana and the crowd don't know what to do,
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame them for that, though, to be honest. It took me a hot minute to attune myself to Mr. Iguana.
Nobody watching Triple H.
I can't believe they tried it.
Yeah, I will admit that same work friend who was obsessed with Obafemi did ask whether he was a kid's gimmick character. So it was quite difficult to explain Mr. Iguana to her.
It's horrible when a non-wrestling person watches it over Femi and all these people, and then something like Mr. Iguana, and you go, "Oh god!" Like I said, just how do you
She's
explain
lucky
that?
Danhausen didn't turn up because
Oh well, we got even worse. We got even worse coming up in a minute. Further away through, Trick Willie at 10 with added coat. He sent Mr. Iguana out, and then we got a really cool NXT reunion. All we needed was Mello and Monty. Did we get that? Did we fuck? You know?
Hmm.
I was
Yeah,
just,
I don't.
I don't know.
Maybe Triple H don't like short people either. Like I don't. At this point, man, the one who actually been debuted on the main roster a
Jesus
year
Christ.
ago now
And
is the
it's got
one who
history
gets
with
left out.
but maybe they don't allow,
Ah.
mid card champions in the Rumble. Oh, hang on a minute.
Oh,
Judy and Becky
Julie
Lynch
was
were in
there.
and
Yeah.
Becky Lynch and
Mm.
anyway.
Okay. Well, okay.
Number 11 was Cody Rhodes, who was obviously looking to win 3 Rumbles. The crowd sang his song. 12 was El Grande Americana. Oh, no, Gina. I said this was going to get bad, but it can't get any worse. Number 13, the original El Grande. I just can't be asked. They both ended
fuck's
out.
sake, man. That's all.
It's,
That's my reaction to the. Oh, fuck's sake.
they wasted
Yeah.
2 picks of the Rumble for that. Do you know? I mean, we could have had Mello.
We could have had Chad Gable. We could have had
Apparently-
Ludwig Kaiser.
Apparently, Chad Gable is recovering, but I've not heard about Ludwig Kaiser for a while.
Yeah, he's been missing, man.
Yeah, Trick got hit with a crossroads and sent out. At number 14, it was Royce Keys. Now, Gina, this was really weird because I watched it live, and I'm pretty fucking sure Powerhouse Hobbs came up on the
It did.
entrance, and then it went to Royce Keys. But in the edit, not only did they take out the Powerhouse Hobbs, they took out the AW chant. That's strange, isn't it?
Oh, did they?
Well, now
I
that's
did
just
see. I did see
stupid.
that on the live. I didn't realize that they had edited it out though.
Why y'all put it on the screen in the first place? It's just stupid.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, no! But it was really nice, and I was happy to hear the hype that was put out there for him.
Yeah, but it's great to see him. But how fucking weird is it to see him in a WWE ring? You know, I know there's talent that goes
It's
across,
scary.
but it is weird, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Shout out to Saudi Arabia for not watching Triple A, but watching AEW. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's gonna
Yeah,
really
that was
piss
shocking
Tricks
enough.
and again, Michael going, Cody knows him, but that's something completely different. We don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Halfway through, and we're getting more generic every day. Austin Theory coming out, and
God. Creator wrestler.
There was a lull in proceedings. I blame El Grandes. Bronson Reed was 16. They didn't even try to hide the tag team partner coming out next. They were just like, oh, just stick Bronson after fucking Austin Theory. No one's going to give a shit. Ilya Dragunov, number 17, brought his trademark tenacity to the ring. Number 18, the Parker. This is not the WWE version, and I'm pretty sure we got told this was the most star-studded Rumble in history. And I'm sorry, but I don't know, man. Like, anyway, number 19 was Dragon Lee. Number 20 was Logan Paul. La Parker was sent out, and then Dragon Lee, thanks to the Vision. And then LA Knight woke us up at 21. Only his second Royal Rumble, all right, LA Knight. He had his eyes set on the Vision, and he sent Theory flying after blunt force trauma and eliminated Bronson Reed. So, Monty, there you go. This talk about LA Knight being buried. Look how dominant he was in the Rumble.
Just give it a minute.
Wow, I was impressed. 22. 22 was Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. Oba didn't back down, but The Miz, who was 23, decided to take a minute. And Gina, I know we've mentioned The Miz quite a lot, but this is the stuff that he does that makes him good. Do you know what I mean? Like, he could have got in the middle of Oba and Brock, and he was like, do you know what? I'll take a minute.
Yeah, The Miz kind of reminds us all of reality, because any normal person would see Oba and Brock staring each other down and thinking, I am not getting in the middle of that. So The Miz definitely embodies that realism, doesn't it? But can I
And
just say that moment and stare down between Brock and Oba, goosebumps.
yeah, without a doubt. Back to the Miz quickly, and I have to. I'm sorry. He tied Kane with 17 Royal Rumble appearances. So the Miz is unbelievably going to break the record next year. Brock completely no-sold Ilya Dragunov and sent him out. That fucking. I was just like, Dragunov, just fucking twat him. Do you know what I mean? Like he doesn't know who you are. Femi again wanted some, but Ray Phoenix was 24, and unlike Miz, got in the middle of the two. Ray got hit with an F5 and sent out, and then the worst happened. Brock clotheslined Femi out. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, does this do anything for anybody? I mean, Gina. I mean, I know you haven't had the connection with Over. Maybe others had, but what does
No,
this do?
I
You
was
know,
disappointed. They hyped up these two just even with the stare down. So to not even get a little one-on-one between the two, a little back and forth, I don't know, Brock clothesline Oba for Oba to stand up and be like, that did nothing, let me clothesline you or something, like something like that just to happen, but no, just straight up kick out. Um,
I, I just
I don't know who I'm more mad at, like creative or whether it was just on Oba for bloody getting distracted with someone else. Don't get distracted with anyone else when you got Brock Lesnar behind you. Like,
I, I
I
just
don't know. It was disappointing.
yeah. Jey Uso was 25 coming through the crowd. Whilst he did that, Cody and Knight sent Brock Lesnar out. So, crowd didn't see it and commentary just moved straight on. Jay run it back in the ring, which probably won't endear him to the hardcore fans, Monty. But I was like, why did you put that spot during Jay's entrance? It just didn't make any sense. Was it, again, LA Knight fucking up the timing?
I don't know what the hell it was, man. It had somebody fucked up something. That's all I know because that's just dumb. It don't make a lot of sense at all, especially with Brock Lesnar being who he is. Like if that was the case, Oba could. And I think that was so frustrating. He had just did what he did to Oba, and it's just like, bro, if he was gonna grow out like that, then Oba could have you could have reversed what happened and had Oba do that. And after he shockingly got Brock, if you wanted Oba to get put out, let Cody and LA Knight catch Oba slipping or something. Like it was just so dumb. Very whoever put it together just looked like an idiot there. The production team looked like idiots. Then they made Cody or everybody else look like an idiot by the execution of the Jey Uso spot because I don't mind. I don't, me, I don't mind them running it back because I figured it'd be a perfect time for them to try to get Jey Uso to do something like that. But you did it, and we just supposed to think the power of friendship between Jey Uso and Cody is why Cody just decided, you know what, hey, go run it back. I'm just gonna stand here and not push him out because I wanted Cody to just push him out. And I wouldn't even be mad, like because I thought it was just like if you're gonna do that, at least make it make sense that something that would happen for him to pay for that mistake. Don't just let everybody just be like, all right, it's time to take a break while Jey Uso pumping up the crowd. But also it felt so bad that it's like we don't want to draw attention to how bad that spot that with Brock was. So let's try to distract them with Jey Uso.
They went straight. Like I said, I've never seen a commentary team just switch and be like, "That Brock thing never happened. We're moving on to something else," And there was a couple of moments as well. Number 26 was Roman Reigns, and Roman suckered Jay in. Why would Jay fall for that? Miz was sent out by Reigns. Jacob got 27, and Fatu popped up Javon, and I think Javon was fucking near the moon.
Yeah,
but
he was in the sky.
He came down
for sure.
Number 28 was Penta. He debuted last year. Cody sent LA Knight out to booze, which again is understandable. Number 29 was Randy Orton. The fans sang his theme. Penta got hit with a cool RKO. And then Gunter was number 30. And again, Gene, it's one of those things where I think, who's going to be number 30? I'm getting excited. And I was like, oh, shit, we've not seen Gunther yet. And I just, again, for me, it was odd positioning, But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, in my opinion, this might be like, not to everyone's tea. Like I said about, I don't know if I feel like people who are already champions in some way shouldn't be in the Royal Rumbles and take up those slots. I do feel the same with people who have another match on this match card. I think If you knew Gunther wasn't gonna win the Rumble, why put him in this match, especially when he's got match on this match card already as it is? That spot could have been given to somebody else. I just, again, no offense to Gunther, I absolutely love him, but I just didn't think he needed the spot in the Rumble. I don't think he did.
Yeah, and especially when he's coming like limping out. I know selling the injuries from earlier, but it's not like it's a dominant threat, you know. Number 30. Anyway, Javon bounced himself into an RKO and elimination, unfortunately, but put on a great display. Gunter sent Penta out. Cody hit Orton with a cutter accidentally. Fatu sent Cody over, who hung on until Drew Claymored Rhodes out. And Monty, you mentioned this.
Boom.
When will Drew ever fucking learn? You know,
Yeah,
just leave it alone.
bro. Like if you just let it happen, Cody probably would have lost anyway. Just let it go. Like, what are we doing, man? Oh man, like why are you butting into this business? It's just he obviously he wants it. He obviously wants Cody to be involved with him at WrestleMania by one way or another, I guess, with this move. But yeah, I do think the execution of the spot was nice. It was one of the because at this point in the match, I'm just like you mentioned, everything about Gunther being 30, a lot of the other execution was just felt so deflating and lackluster. And I think that's my overall takeaway from it was deflating, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, that moment was like a little highlight. Like, okay, that was nice. But overall, Drew, come on, man, mind your business.
Yeah, I know. Roman Reigns sent Jacob Fatu out, and I found it weird that Reigns easily got rid of Jacob Fatu, really, and also didn't really have any dealings with Division, which shows maybe Division were beneath him a little bit, but I think that's my problem more than anything else. He then took out last year's winner, a cousin Jey Uso, and we had a final for Orton, Roman, Gunther, and fucking Logan Paul. I mean, Gina, is this like in his contract that the cunt has to be in the final four every year? Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't know what he's done. I don't know whether he's become Triple H's mistress on the side or something. Like, what is possessing you to put this man in the final four? If you're gonna have him in like maybe the top 10 to be left in their final four, really? Over half of the people you got on this roster? I can't.
Well, luckily Logan was next out thanks to Roman, who then got hit with an RKO. Orton couldn't celebrate as Gunther eliminated him, and then Gunther tried to send Roman to sleep because that's what you want in a Rumble, a fucking sleeper hold. The OTC powered up, and after a spear sent the ring general out and won the 2026 Royal Rumble. Monty, what are your thoughts on it? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I gave up when Oba was eliminated. I think you've guessed even from the way I noted the end of the Rumble.
I mean, it was deflating, bro. It's just like the execution. It was just like it was a couple of things that I thought we all knew was a no brainer. Y'all did the vignettes, and I know Oba still new, but even from the Saturday Night Main Event, if you look at online and you look at all the discourse around Obafemi, a lot of casuals, a lot of people who don't know much about him was excited. It's just like Gina telling us about a coworker. A lot of people had that thought process about Obafemi. They could tell that he was somebody to take seriously and that he's somebody to watch going forward. And I think, and it's not even screwed up, even without the outside of the business or the outside of the ring and the Vince McMahon Association stuff with Brock. I think we all know it's time that we move on to a guy like Obafemi and like to have Brock just kind of throw him away and then it'll be different. You could even have an argument with me if Brock lasted towards the end to get threw out by Roman or something, because then you'd be like, well, Brock had narrative purposes later in the match, but the fool didn't even make it 5 minutes after that. And that whole spot, in my opinion, does sap the energy out of you. Even me, who didn't pick Oba, was just like, what are we doing? Like, why? Because one of the things I knew would make sense and be good for this Royal Rumble, because I knew Brock was going to be in it, was to have a guy like Obafemi make a name by throwing over Brock Lesnar. It reminds me of I don't know if it was the Royal Rumble, but I'm sure they had an account of the Royal Rumble too. But I know at the Survivor Series when it was NXT versus WWE, and Keith Lee and Roman Reigns had those back and forwards, and then I think even Keith Lee and Brock had more of an interaction that felt like made Keith Lee feel like a bigger deal if he, once he ever crossed over because of his interaction with Brock. Like Brock has done it in the past. He's put over people in the past. So this willingness to be, in my opinion, so past your prime and so past people's interest, your most fans' interest level, for you to still be in here no selling, for you to still be in here taking up space from people, throwing talented workers like Ray Phoenix and dragging off around just to do basically nothing. And then, like you mentioned, the Vision hogging all our TV time for weeks and weeks to end up having Logan Paul to be the representative in the Final Four when nobody believes Logan Paul is supposed to be the guy who can be winning, even in the thought process of winning the Royal Rumble. So then you start your brain thinking, oh, Logan Paul is probably here because they think if the longer Logan is in these matches, his followers will still be watching by the end or something. Like, that's the only logic I even got for some of the decisions. Like, this match was the only good thing of this match is I do think more casual eyeballs, people who just watch the Royal Rumble every year, got a chance to see guys like Obafemi, got a chance to get introduced to the Javon Evansons. But it wasn't even, in my opinion, none of those guys, in my opinion, had a long enough showcase to where we could even come away feeling good about them like Lash Legend or Sol Ruka, in my opinion. I mean, maybe Oba did because he did kind of carry the whole first part of the match. But once, like you mentioned, like the El Grandes, or we got to that 12 entry mark, the match started to fall flat. Stuff didn't make it. Wasn't a lot of good storyline progression. Then you got execution problems and just it was just a lot going on with the match that just, in my opinion, held it back in a lot of ways. This was one of the worst, in my opinion, Royal Rumble matches I've ever covered on this show with you guys. And I mean, even like, I don't know if we actually had, I know we didn't have a Royal Rumble with no fans, I don't think. But hell, if we did have one, I'm sure it was better than this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Drew won that
was
one,
frustrating.
all right? No,
Yeah,
Drew
okay,
didn't
yeah,
win that
Drew.
one. No, he didn't win that one. I'm lying to you. No, it was 2020 one, wasn't it? No, we might have had a.
I think we had
I don't
fans
know.
2020 because it didn't close up. The country didn't close up
Yeah, it
until
might have been
a couple months
2021.
later. So we still had fans for that one. Yeah,
But I
whoever
agree. I
won
mean,
21
yeah,
though.
we've been doing a pod for 10 years, and this Rumble is awful.
Right, this one was really really bad, man. And like I don't even know how. And I love Royal Rumble. Like we talk about it year round. Like even if I don't agree with the person that they choose to win, I'm usually in on the Royal Rumble. It's a great concept. It usually is pretty strong, but the surprises were weak. The execution of things were weak. It just wasn't really good to me in a lot of ways. And we didn't even, in my opinion, fully make the stars as big as these new stars as big as we could have, because we had some good opportunities to make some new stars and we didn't even do that. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it, Gina? How do they fuck up a Raw Rumble? Do you know what I mean? The most exciting hour, and it was just, I don't know, mid, you know? I knew last year was kind of one-off because now we're back to the standard of, going to the Roman Reigns type character because there's only maybe 3 or 4 could win anyway, so it wasn't star-studded. And also, where were all the fucking surprises, you know?
Yeah, definitely. This is what I was saying a bit earlier in the pod about, there's always been a magic with Royal Rumble of, who's coming back, who's returning, who's going to show up as a surprise legend. And you just didn't really have any of that magic in this Royal Rumble at all. You didn't even really have, the Kofi magic. We didn't have one of those spots on either of the Rumbles where someone potentially got eliminated, but their feet didn't touch the ground in some really dramatic way. And yeah, it didn't have any of that Royal Rumble magic is what I want to call it. um like Monty was saying, Monty preached so well just now. Like they should have had a bigger spot with Oba was the most exciting thing about the men's Royal Rumble. They should have had him in there for much longer than he was because it just became so boring after that. They should have had him eliminate Brock, or if they were gonna have Brock eliminate him, like at least let them have a bigger square off with each other before that happened, to the point that it leads to a potential WrestleMania match between the two, because Brock is that like mad about Oba, this new guy coming in and showing him up. So they didn't build any of that. There was just lack of excitement. Like you said, there were sloppy executions. The Jay Uso entrance, I think Jay should have just come out normally like everybody else. And if he was going to run it back, do it then. But rather than coming out in the crowd, taking all the cameras away from what else was happening in the Royal Rumble, was just messy. It is, in my opinion, I agree with you guys, probably the worst Royal Rumble I've seen since I started watching it, and I couldn't get behind telling. The only way I would tell anyone to watch this is just to see Obafemi's entrance and up to when he is eliminated, and then turn it off after that. Not even like the presence of the bloodline in the Royal Rumble really made it any hype for me. It
Yeah.
just fell flat.
Yeah, and especially Reigns with that number 26, and like I said, we've over, especially after Cody, when you were like, oh, okay, this is Roman's to win. Again, you could have changed it with Brock and had Ober and Brock 1 and 2, and Ober getting rid of Brock, and then Lesnar coming back later to cost Ober. But they couldn't be fucking bothered. Then this is the thing that pisses me off about WWE right now is even with certain things, it's just the fucking money and all this lot, and they can't be bothered to look after the product themselves. It's a rumble. Like I said, we've mentioned it. Whoever put these matches together, it just they fucked up the concept of what a Royal Rumble could be. Gunter is the new Big Show as well of runner-ups at the Rumble. So we'll see what happens. And it's been 11 years since Roman won his first Rumble, and he didn't need the Rock this time to try and get the crowd on side. But yeah, just really fucking disappointing, especially if it's meant to kick off your year. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's kicking off WrestleMania. It's like, I don't really give a. I don't know if there's a WrestleMania. I'm just like, okay, we'll see what happens. But I just don't know. Out of 5, then Monty, what would you give it?
I think you just hit it too. Like I think that's the most disappointing part is that usually when we going into WrestleMania, even with the people may not have liked Jey Uso winning it, but like even when Jey won and all of that, we had already had, we already knew and had feelings that okay, we might be going somewhere with John Cena because we know that this is his last year. So he's gonna be involved in something in Mania. Or for example, even with Jey Uso, we knew that he was probably gonna challenge Gunther because they were already kind of planting those seeds. Like this is the first year, and again, you can blame self injury, but like that's this business. If you're not accounting for injuries in this business, then you really don't. You're really not doing a good job. So I can't just blame it all on a couple on injuries or whatever. Like we are literally going towards WrestleMania, and I don't really feel other than maybe the Drew and Cody being involved in something together, and like you know what I mean. Coming out of Royal Rumble, I didn't really feel overly excited about any outcome, and that's just not what we're supposed to be doing, in my opinion. So it's very weird, very very weird, but. I give this Royal Rumble match itself a rating. I probably just give it like I give it a 3.5. I feel like again, I know that's really low for me if you know how I do the Royal Rumble. So I think that reflects it, and I think most of those 3 stars really come from the Oba Femis and just seeing a lot of people. It was great to see Trick Javon Oba in this match because I knew a lot of people who don't watch maybe getting introduced to them. But unfortunately, even in that case, it wasn't executed well in a lot of ways. They all could have did more. A lot of people could have been showcased better. And yeah, so overall, I'd just say 3.5 and just not really a good Raw Rumble.
Yeah, Gina.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go 3.5, and a lot of those 3.5s are for again the Oberfemis. I liked Royce Keys being introduced into WWE and debuting here, and the little hype that he got for it. I'm a bit gutted he didn't get more of a time in the ring to be able to like square off against other people
Yeah,
I would have
good
liked
point.
him to like go against. But I still am happy for him and his debut. But yeah, like I said, this has probably got to be one of the worst Royal Rumbles I have watched, and there has been like a few gap years where I didn't get to watch them, but I don't know why creative thought that this was going to go down well and not disappoint fans, but at this point they're always disappointing fans, so I think they're used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a comment CM Punk made, I think, on the pre-show because, like Sam Robertsberg was walking, on the way to the ring, and Punk was like, "Oh, we charge people 20 grand to do that," and it's just that's the WWE way or the TKO way right now. It's like, well, these fucking idiots will pay this money to do that, so why do they need to care in a way? Do you know what I mean? It's a really put themselves in a really weird situation right now. That's how I feel, you know. Anyway, predictions. We'll do Rumble mini games first. Number one, Monty picked Cody. The rest went Bron, so we got no points. Number 30, I put Oba. Jax put Jericho. Monty put Jacob. Gina put Evil. I'm liking that. It was Gunther, so no points. The final four actual was Logan, Gunther, Orton, and Roman. I put Oba, Roman, Cody, and Brock, so I got a point. Jaxie put Oba, Roman, Sammy, and Jay, so got a point. Monty put Cody, Roman, Breaker, and Jacob for two and got a point. Gina put Zayn, Bron Breaker, Roman Reigns, and Gunter, so got 2 points. Santina the quickest. James and Monty went Kit Wilson, who wasn't even in the Royal Rumble. Jaxie went Miz. Gina went R-Truth, who wasn't even in the fucking Royal Rumble. It was actually Bron, who was officially 10 seconds in the Royal Rumble, so no points. The longest, Javon was the longest. Oba was only a minute behind. I put Cody.
Shout
Jaxie put
out to
Oba.
Javon getting the
I
Iron
know.
Man.
Yeah, fair play. I think 41 minutes he did, and I think Oba was 40. And Jaxie put Oba, so he missed that there, Jax. Monty put Cody, and Gina put Bron, so no points. Most eliminations, all Oba, so all get a point. So can I just say, all of us picked most eliminations for the men's and the women's, you know? So I think that deserves a little bit of credit. All get a point. Who eliminates who? Well, I put Roman eliminates Cody, Lesnar eliminates Gunter, and Knight eliminates Reed, so that's 1 point. Jaxie put Oba eliminates Brock, Javon eliminates Logan, Oba eliminates Bronson, so no points. Monty put Oba eliminates Brock, Roman eliminates Bronson, Trick eliminates Randy, and of course, like we said, Brock did eliminate Oba, so no points. And Gina, Oba eliminates Brock, Roman eliminates Oba, and Roman eliminates Jericho, so no points. Surprises. I put Brock, Sheamus, and Leon Slater, so I got a point. I will say I don't watch Pat McAfee, so I didn't know he was announced until I watched SmackDown a couple of days ago, all right? Jaxie put Brock, Jericho, and Kevin Owens, so gets a point. Monty put Ethan Page, Saudi Arabian wrestler, Leon Slater, and Mr. Iguana, so I will give him a point for there.
Saudi Arabian wrestler.
Yeah, I know. I thought about it. I thought about it. Gina put Chris Jericho, Evil, but did put Will Royce Hobbs as well. So great shout with Hobbs, Gina,
Nice.
because I think everybody else forgot.
Yeah.
And lucky numbers is crazy. We picked 21, 30, 8, 22, 16, 30, 10, and 4. And it was 26. So in the men's and women's rumble, we didn't get any of the lucky numbers. So as you know, the score for the men's right now, totting it up, Jaxie's on 3, Monty's on 3, I'm on 4, and Gina's on 4. So we add that to earlier, and it means Jaxie's on 5 for the bonus league, Gina on 7, Monty on 7, I'm on 8. But main predictions, I went Oba, the rest went Roman. So Gina, going Roman, you have won the Royal Rumble, and also you get a perfect score. So congratulations.
Woo! I'm so happy. This is definitely the start of a good year for me.
Yeah. This is like I said, it's great, Gina. If I can't win, I'm glad you do. You know, I've always said that, and I really, really mean it.
Thanks.
So the WNR Prediction League 2026, the WWE League, Gina is on 1, the rest are on 0. See, after Monty's domination, doesn't that feel good, Gina? Hey, doesn't that feel good?
Oh, for sure. Definitely. I feel like I'm on top, but I want to keep this spot, so it's definitely gonna give me more pressure going into the next one.
I know. AEW have not started yet, and the bonus one, well, because of that point, Gina, means Jaxie's on 5, Monty on 7, you and I on 8 points, joint lead in the bonus league. Hey, Monty, hey, how'd you
I think
like
that's
them
the first time
apples?
I've been this high in the bonus league, so I will take
yeah.
it.
Well done. Yeah, Monty. Yeah.
After
2025.
last year, James, you can't tell me nothing, brother.
2025 seems a long time ago now. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. God, it will all change. Overall, then, for the actual Rumble in itself, Monty, I'll start with you. I need your match, your MVP, and your score out of 10.
Going to AJ Styles, and Okay. Well, let's see. What's interesting? I feel like we give love to somebody else the MVP, but nope, AJ Styles. Uh, let's see. Overall rating. Uh, 7.5. Like, I just walked away from just the first Royal Rumble. I feel like I ever walked away from just being like, yeah, I watched all of it, and that was it. It was a show, and that's not really what you want. That's not what you want from a show like the Royal Rumble. If this was a regular just PLE, maybe I give them a break. But like this is they are the ones, like you mentioned. Triple H is the one hyping it up. They are the one who every year talking about this is the road to WrestleMania. You're supposed to get excited, and we haven't even gotten to like the pre-sale ticket stuff and all of that. Just everything about going towards WrestleMania right now just feels like crap. And this Royal Rumble, a lot of it was crappy. So that's partly why AJ Styles got to get my love, because if it wasn't for focusing on that and like I said, moments here and there that points towards the future, other than that, man, this show was just it really wasn't that good. I was glad I was able to text y'all during it, because I think that kind of made it funner than the show actually was. The fact that we were kind of talking in the chat during. So that was the best part about them being, and that's another problem with the show, the location. So that was the best part about them being there, was the timing and being able to just kind of have a conversation with you guys, because we was able to watch it at a reasonable time. But other than that, yeah, man, this show wasn't really that good to me.
No, I'm sorry for bringing you down, Monty. I'm dragging you through NXT and New Japan and now the Rumble. I'm sure we'll turn the corner. Gina, what's your match MVP and rating, please?
Match will be the Gunther AJ match. MVP, I'm gonna give to Liv for getting the win finally. But I also want to give a special shout out to Royce Keys for his debut. Overall rating, I'm gonna give it a 6.5, because I'm not gonna lie, I did not enjoy this and I would not go back and watch this Rumble. And I've gone back and watched many Rumbles. This is not one that I will choose to go back and watch.
It's one of those things that I've gone back and rewatched it and enjoyed it less, which it doesn't really stand out here.
I feel like if I go back and watch it again, like I'll get more annoyed, seeing like the lack of what they could have done with who they had still on I think I'll get more annoyed going back to watch it.
Yeah, maybe they're gonna do it different now. Oh no, it's the same shit, isn't it? Yeah. I'm gonna give it an 8.25, which for me is like terrible. MVP AJ Styles, and the match here, Gunther versus AJ. And then we had a shitload of fireworks, because why not? Why not have 5 minutes of fireworks? And then we got to the post show, which was Jackie, Biggie, and Peter Robertsburg. Kathy Keddy was ringside. Liv Morgan joined the panel, and she was beyond happy. You deserve it, chance. And she said all the Judgment Day are happy for her, and she dedicates her victory to Dom, and she can do what she wants. Byron Saxton said AJ has upheld his end of the bargain. Sounds like a threat, Byron. Gunther joined the panel. I bet he's fucking knackered. Got fuck you, Gunther chance, and he said he made AJ pass out like a little bitch. WWE champion Drew McIntyre was next, and he won't sit in the same seat as CM Punk, which again just shows you what he means. And we all agree he's sexy. He said he's a good guy. Cody screwed him, so he did it back. He wants to right all the wrongs of Roman, and he said Sammy showed heart, and he will do whatever it takes to hold on to the title. Please, Drew, just hold on to it. And then we got a booze for Triple H, Y2J chance. Triple H said this might be his favourite Rumble, Monty. He wouldn't lie to us, would he?
he's lying. Didn't he win one? The one he won is definitely his favorite. That egomaniac. But no. Screw him. Screw him for even trying to entertain that this is his favorite. Why is it his favorite?
Well, he said because of the NXT talent, and they put the roster on notice.
And he definitely booked them like he watched NXT, didn't he, James? Did he book it like he actually watched it?
Yeah, he picked over as a standout, and he pays respect to AJ. Big E wonders if AJ will stay as a coach or something like this, and Triple H says AJ's done with wrestling. All right, stop talking about it. He told me he's done. He's done. All
This is
right.
about me, okay, damn it! Like,
Yeah.
why are we talking about that guy? He's done. He's out of here. That old
He's
fart out of my face.
he was asked about Roman, and he said Roman has his own schedule, which I just can't wait to going back to Roman as a part-time champion again. It's going to be great. And the other thing, Gina, he said the fans were really engaged all night long. That's what he said.
Oh my god.
I think I think I just rolled my eyes so hard just now.
Like me. He
Yeah.
said
Sure.
he said he's speechless with what the blood money has done. He said he's going to milk Mania as hard as he can. There was 25,000 people at the stadium, which was built in a month. I mean, that is what slave labor gets you, boys and girls. You know. But I've had enough. So that is it. I ended it there. I was watching it. I was going, "Fuck you, Triple H. Fuck you," and just turned it off. I went back for Big E's 5 count. Don't get me wrong, because it's not Big E's fault. But it's just, yeah, a mounting of bullshit coming out of WWE. And as you mentioned, with the WrestleMania ticket prices, with everything else they're going, it's just a horrible, horrible time. But Gina, I'll let you wrap up WWE. What are your thoughts on WWE this past month?
Uh, that's a really tough question because I can't really be nice about them. There's so much shit that they could have done and they just haven't, or if they have done it in some way, it was executed poorly. I think it's just really lazy booking at the moment and very repetitive booking. It's just it would just be nice for them to say we're going to shake things up, we're going to change things up, and us actually see an actual change up. So the one thing I will say that I look forward to are all the new NXT additions. I think, Trick, Javon, even Mello with the belt now as well. I think Lash, a lot of these NXT call ups are going to really start to shape hopefully a new era and hopefully take us out of this repetitiveness. So I do look forward to seeing what the NXT guys come up and do. That's pretty much the main thing I'm looking forward to at this point. I'm not looking forward to WrestleMania. We'll see how I feel about WrestleMania in the next couple of weeks. Because I know we've got Chamber and stuff coming up, so my mind might get changed. But as of the end of Royal Rumble, I'm just not feeling hopeful for WrestleMania. It just feels like it's going to be a standard Saturday night in my eyes.
Yeah, wrestling should never feel like a slog. And at the moment, it really is, which is a shame, but like I said, they've still got time to sort it out. But that is it for us today. Don't forget, of course, all social media, X at the WNR Podcast, I'm at the WNR Pod James. You can find the entire WNR team on the banner. Monty, where can people find and follow you?
At my Monty Pod, we got exciting things on the way. Just keep a lookout.
Ooh, and Gina?
I'm on Twitch and X at Purple Pain.
And WNR also on Facebook and Instagram. Send us an email at WNRpodcast at gmail.com and YouTube at WNR Podcast, where we're approaching 11 years of the WNR. And we've got all shorts, universe mode, and clips from any event we go to. Of course, the podcast is live on YouTube and also SoundCloud on your phone and Spotify and iTunes. But you can download, subscribe, rate, and review there. So that is it. Like I said, our next episode. It's an AEW catch up, all right. And again, I'm not promising anybody it's going to be as positive as today's show, but who knows? Maybe AEW have done a better fist of it since the start of the year. But until then, I've been James Burns and I was joined by the mind of Monty. Monty, thanks for joining me.
You suck, James. I just want to let you know that. Like, give me some good wrestling to talk about.
I'm bringing you down, man. I'm bringing you down. I apologize. And of course, the genius of Gina, and not only the Royal Rumble winner, which is big in its own right, but a perfect score as well, eh?
Yep, I am definitely looking forward to the next one and keeping the crown straight.
Yeah, without a doubt.